It's funny shit last night. A guy was talking. me and one of the guys were talking last night, and this guy walks up and was talking about, like, yeah, have you heard about that Midwestern diner guy? He wins all these raffles and everything. He's like, oh, that guy's a dick. He's like, just a huge jerk. He's like, is he? He's like, yeah, dude. He just keeps winning these raffles. Like, yeah, I see his name. He wins all the time. I was like, yeah, he's just a dickhead. And then, like, 5 minutes later, he's like, someone just told me you're a Midwestern grinder. He's like, I am. He's like, you were calling yourself a dick. I'm like, I know.
When I lost all
me and Matt were talking. That's what me and Hazmat were talking to. I was like,
yeah. When I lost all my weight, I'd have people like, can I speak with John? No, he doesn't work here anymore.
You ready?
Yeah. What's up, everyone?
What's
that was
up,
the
man?
most weirdest intro I've ever done on here. It's never that way. Dude, it's great to have you in the studio again.
Great to be back.
You've been in the studio twice. You're like the only Californian that's done this twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know if there's any other California people that's been here in the studio yet. Is there?
I'm a Tennessee person now.
Oh yeah, so you don't even claim it anymore.
No,
What the
come
hell?
on, man.
No,
Get it
like,
straight.
No claim.
Well, it's good to have you in here, man. I'm glad you made the route down here. Did we not turn the compressor off? Seriously? I thought we were better than this.
Semi-pros.
You got it? All right. But, John, thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate it. I know that it was a crazy drive for you to go to Tennessee to Stockton to catch the 209 bike night. And then there has to be some kind of story to that right there, going through the country during this winter
I have
wonderland.
a dedication to Stockton, California. I also had another load of stuff I had to pick up from California.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed enough that Paul Driscoll out of Fresno Harley was coming to work for me, and he had a couple bikes and a toolbox, and I had a bunch of stuff at my shop that needed to make it out to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And Stockton's still home. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you can't wash that out.
Yeah.
So, and I've got 20 years worth of relationships in Stockton. So the idea is, that we do bike nights every other month.
Mm-hmm.
I should be at 95% of them. Go in and hang out at the shop and make sure the wheels are still on the bus. I'm real blessed to have Tom and Taylor, and I've got a really good crew in
Still
Stockton.
there, yeah.
Like, without those guys, it just wouldn't happen.
Well, it's pretty awesome that you were able to build the Dream Rides location in Stockton up to the point where you actually could step out and then make some other moves like what you're doing in Tennessee now. I mean, that's a level in itself.
Listen,
that we're all trying to get to.
So I don't know how it happened, but like most owner, bike shops that, I was the service writer. I was the guy who answered the phone for, 15 years or however long, a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the hardest part about that is you can't explore any other opportunities. You're busy.
You don't have it's hard to have any other bandwidth mentally to focus on anything else.
Because every other customer says that they have a funeral that they have to be to on Saturday and their bike has to be done, and you got to figure that out. You know, so you don't have time to explore other ideas. Well, I was being pulled 20 different directions, and so I decided to hire a service writer, someone else to answer the phones and just do that portion. And thank God they've worked out. Taylor's really good. Now we have 2 service writers, Taylor and Annie. And, it's number one thing I'd recommend a bike shop owner does is be an owner and not a service writer, if possible.
Yeah.
It took me a lot of years to get to the point where I was like, okay, so let's have another mouth to feed.
I remember, this is the 3rd time we've done a podcast together, but we've hung out many times in many different parts of the country so far. But when was the whole Tennessee move starting to kind of be? Was it after like that first time you went to the? Was it the V-Twin tour or the Hot Bike tour that you did first?
So very first time, my wife and I have known that we wanted to get out of California for a long time. Mm-hmm. Part of it is my business. I like to do high performance motorcycles. Mm-hmm. And we can't even advertise that we dyno tune.
It got that crazy there?
It's illegal. Well, I mean, you're scared to advertise. We can do anything we want, but if the state wants to come in, it could be a problem. And
we remember when everybody was going around because the exhaust thing was a big
same thing. Exhaust, air cleaners, S&S won't ship a cam. I mean, you're so limited to what you can get legally in California that it makes doing business tough. To do it legally, tough. And I'm at the point in my life where we try and do as much stuff legally as we possibly can because I don't want to lose everything I've worked for the last 20 years because the state of California decides that it's okay to shit on the sidewalk, smoke meth in my front porch, and camp right there. But if I install a high-performance air cleaner, I'm a criminal. So I'll tell you how I feel about that.
You can't write those jokes.
No,
that's hilarious.
It's funny because it's true. Anyways, so Janine and I.
That needs to be on a shirt, dude.
So Janine and I went out to the East Coast FXR Jam. That was kind of on a bucket list. But before the East Coast FXR Jam, I had left California, but never really I have never driven across the country. I had never seen.
Man,
the amount of
would
stuff.
you say that it's probably not on a lot of people's bucket lists that are from California to even think about the rest of the country in a sense because you kind of have everything you need there, right?
Yeah, but I think it's more than that. So for me, I was just so focused on like if I leave the shop, how are we? When you're self-employed.
Yeah.
And you leave, you're spending money on vacation.
While not making money.
While not making money, while losing the revenue you would have made if you were there. So it's like you get hit twice as hard, because the bills still keep coming. So, but I decided, and Janine, thank God, she pushes me. She's like, no, let's do this.
Let's do it, yeah.
So we went out a couple weeks early for the East Coast FXR Jam, went around North Carolina because I didn't know where to be. I knew I wanted to be somewhere where the weather wasn't like crazy bad. Yeah. And then we found the Knoxville area. And what was so appealing to that is it's in the mountains, or what they consider mountains.
Large hills.
Yeah. But there's tons of curvy roads and a major metropolitan area where
you can pull from. Yeah.
Where we can actually have a fully functioning business. And I can go ride my motorcycle.
So where you landed in Maryville, right?
Yep.
So where you landed, you can pull from Asheville, you can pull from Chattanooga, you can pull from Nashville, Knoxville.
The metropolitan area is over. Just the Knoxville metropolitan area is 1.5 million people.
Yeah.
And there is some aftermarket presence. There's none where I'm at. I definitely.
It's heavy motorcycles. Every time I go through there, man.
I mean, and to get to the tail of the dragon from Tennessee, from Knoxville anyway, you have to go past my shop.
Yeah.
So we're gonna set it up pretty much like as a full-time Sturgis booth. We'll have the dyno trailer out front, which I can actually advertise that we do dynos.
Yeah.
Have just a showroom full of parts that we can install right now while you wait.
Hey, check out this real quick and then go run the drag and let me know if you like it.
Exactly.
Dude, you're kind of smart. Let's be real. Like that's kind of a genius move to kind of get your shit together to the point where you can actually make these moves and then literally open up shop at the base of one of the most famous roads in America for motorcyclists.
It's a dream come true.
I mean, can you do meth though, like you can in Stockton, and not get in trouble?
Well, I'm sure
it's frowned upon. It's highly frowned upon.
I'm sure they have plenty of meth in Tennessee. But they won't be camping on my front door. I've yet to see a single homeless person. I know they exist because I see on Facebook like a blanket drive for the people or whatever. And it's horrible because I'm like, don't give them blankets. Don't enable them to live on the streets.
Yeah.
And that I feel horrible because they're human beings. But I've seen that when you help people, you enable them to live like shit. And that's horrible.
We actually, me and Saxon we did one of the podcasts for the Patreon that we actually couldn't release because I went off on homeless people for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I felt bad for afterwards. There's truth behind what I said, but I shouldn't say that. So it's like, I'm not going to do it.
I get it.
But no,
that's a solid plan, though, right there at the tail of the dragon. Parts, run it.
No, it's going to be, so on any of the suspension we install, I give a money-back guarantee, so like on rear suspension because It takes me 15 minutes to put on.
Yeah.
It's $1,000 item usually or more. And I'll tell a guy, hey, look, go run this. You know, if you're not happy with it, bring it back. I'll take them off and put your stock shocks back on. You know, so I don't think anybody's ever brought them back. I'm a little worried about the tail of the dragon because we might have those guys who are like, oh, I can put on some good shocks, ride them around for the day, and just take them back.
Yeah.
But I don't think typical Harley owners are like that.
Yeah, I think that you'll be okay right there. But it's a good spot. I mean, there's so many things. Like, every time we've gone to the Teledragon, which I've done it twice now, there'll be like a Mopar club on there, like doing.
Oh, it's
there's so many different types of people, and sport bikes are getting heavy. But I think what's really happening is because the performance Harley movement's really starting to. It's already covered the country, but it's starting to blanket the entire country now, and I think more people are getting into it. And you're going to see a lot. I think you'll see a lot more people there.
No, it's been
really pushing it. So
it's been really awesome to.
And you met all the guys at like Smoky Mountain, Harley Davidson, all that. So you know those.
Yeah, Smoky Mountain's awesome. They've really helped me out. You know, and they welcomed us to the area. They're like, we don't have an aftermarket shop, and everybody.
Maryville's a good little spot, man.
Dude,
I've stayed there before. Yeah,
I feel like I'm in Mayberry, but like a grown-up Mayberry. Like it's booming. They are building. Yeah. It's like
what's awesome about over there is that like I know the Teledragon gets all the credit, but
dude, there's 1,000 other roads.
All the foothills right there. There's like all these little like kind of neighborhood roads, so you can't rip them the same way you could do the Dragon. You got to be cautious, you know, people pulling out of driveways and shit. But equally as beautiful in my opinion. And that one of my favorite rides is still the Tellico Plains from your side over to the North Carolina side. I love that one better than the Dragon.
Oh, no, the Dragon just has the marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Dragon's cool as shit. There's no, I mean, you can't argue with that. But I mean,
how do you think it compares to like up there in the Yosemite?
Well, Yosemite sucks because there's the traffic and I mean it's beautiful in a car.
Like say if you were gonna do,
but like there's Ebbets Pass. That's probably my favorite pass in California. Mm-hmm. It's like a 1.5 lane that you can just rip, and it's got good lines of sight. Mm-hmm. You know, so for me, when I think I ride pretty hard. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously there are guys who ride way harder than me, but for me, I like to have a line of sight.
Yeah.
When I'm going around that blind corner that I don't know what's on the other side, I have a hard time going 100% because I'm like, fuck, it could be gravel, a deer, some fucking guy on a Goldwing, whatever. You know,
he's on his way to the wingding.
Yeah,
you're hiring Goldwing guys now.
No, hey, nothing against Goldwings. I like all motorcycles, but they're big as shit, and I don't want to fucking hit one.
Yeah, I don't want to work on one, dude. Fuck that.
I won't work on one.
Yeah, that's a specialist right there.
No, so I don't work on stuff I don't know. It's not fair for me to charge a guy a professional mechanic's wage.
Yeah.
For me to figure it out.
You don't know. You're not a professional at Goldwing, so it's like hard to do. Yeah,
it's not fair.
No, that's cool, man. I think the shop opening. I think that's really awesome that you've been able to do that. I admire that heavily that you were able to build something like what Dream Rides is in California, and now open a second location on the other side of the country and 2 equally badass places to go ride and visit. Stockton, maybe not the best place to visit all the time, but we all know Wilson Way has a good time. There's a good shit show up right there.
You know what? We have bike night out there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like anything goes. You know,
yeah. Do you get prostitutes coming up there while you're at bike night?
No, you know, the prostitutes.
Have they moved it?
No. I mean, Wilson Way, but there's the hotels down there. And here's an interesting fact about prostitutes that I learned from working on Wilson Way for a decade.
Yeah.
They're all out at lunchtime. I would think, you know, my naivety was that they'd be out in the evening, you know, whatever. No, those guys are at home with their wives.
Me and my wife were there. When we were working with Steve up there one day. She was there with me. It was like the early times when I first started going to NorCal. And we were working just a little bit down on I forget the name. West Lane, right. And we went to lunch, and we went to the Wendy's, which I think was on like Hammer Lane or something north, but it was on like 99 and whatever. Yeah. And we saw a hooker transaction take place. It was lunchtime, and that's why I brought it up. Yeah. So we were in Wendy's, and the chick was in there, and then a business, like the chick was clearly maybe not as hooker as you would think hookers would be, but definitely does some hooker shit. You know what I mean? And then this business like looking guy pulls up white guy. I think I couldn't remember if the chick was black or Mexican or something, but
Whatever.
she didn't seem white, right? Not that that's I'm digging myself a hole here.
Cut that out.
Not that that's a bad thing, but you know, it was just weird. Like I'm like, tell me, look, it's going down. Like she went to the car and left her friend at Wendy's, and we sat there and finished our fucking nuggets and shit. And you know, yeah, I saw a transaction take place. I was like, oh, that's how that works. And it was lunchtime, like you said.
It was probably April, May, early in the COVID shit.
Oh.
And I'm going
Thinking about what I saw.
no. And I'm going down Wilson Way, and there's 3 hookers on the corner. I just snap a picture. I was like, yeah, COVID must be over. They're back out, you know?
That's wild.
Dude, my phone was blown up. Oh, that's, I can't remember her name. Some, like, people who knew who she was, they're like, she's going to get beat up by her husband. You need to quit, take that shit off your social media. I was like, I will in a few hours. Anyway,
Have fun at
wild.
first.
It's insane.
That's
But-
wild, man. It's crazy that like that's probably one of the most that's probably like the first place I ever went to in my life where that shit was so out in the open. You know what I mean?
Well, at first,
Yeah.
I always used to think, like, fuck the police, and all that shit. But then I saw what happens when they quit enforcing laws. So in California, you can do damn near anything you want.
Yeah.
You can't have tinted windows. We can't install air cleaners. We covered that.
Yeah.
Like if you have money, there's things you can't do. But if you are the person who doesn't have any money,
Yeah. Take what you want.
It's take what you want, do what you want. California may fine you, but you're not going to pay it, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
Then I went to a different part of the country where they're like, no, like, we don't want you to fucking litter, and we'll, there's consequences for bad action. I'm like, oh my God, this place is actually nice.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword there.
Well, I think that this last year, man, with all the crazy politicalness and the wokeness that's been coming out, like I'm not trying to say that everything is like a joke that's coming from one side or the other, but like it's so fucking wild. Like things that just felt normal and natural to do or not do.
Right.
The lines get blurred and you're like, oh, so it's okay to steal? Like why is that okay in any reason, period?
No, it's not.
It should be not allowed no matter what the limit is. It should be, and then if you are going to steal, like you should also be able to defend your property, whether it's worth this or not, at any cost. Like, look, man, stealing comes with a consequence. Maybe you get lucky and you just get caught by the cops, but maybe you don't get lucky and you get caught by the people that owns the shit and you get popped.
Yeah, no,
But they changed that. Like, even in Nebraska, they changed the law. Like, someone breaks in my house, they legitimately put on the pot, like a newscast, like when the riots were all happening all around the country. There was one little one that broke out in Omaha, and they said someone kicks on your front door, breaks in your house, you have to ask them nicely to leave, give them the opportunity to leave. I cannot, even though it's an open carry state, doesn't matter. You cannot shoot them at any point unless they show you an actual weapon that you feel in harm's way. But then you must tell them, leave. I feel threatened. You have to say it so many
What was
times.
the Pineapple Express thing? He goes, don't. Don't.
Right? But it's just like, you can't protect your own home. Like, dude, someone breaks in my house. My better half and kids are there. I promise you ain't walking back out of my house.
Yeah.
And whatever story I have to tell that police officer so I don't go to jail is what's going to be said that day.
Obviously.
Because you break in my,
That's
you
a
kick in my
scary
front
thing,
door.
man. You know what's really like? I don't really want to go too far down this road.
let's
but
get back to motorcycles soon.
it's scary though, man. It's scary, like because we're still managing and we're managing like because our age and things, but our kids' life is gonna be fucking weird, dude. It's gonna be weird. Like we think it's weird that like Woodstock took place in that time, or not weird, but it's awesome that it did.
Yeah.
It's like freedom in some kind of sense, but we have freedom here, and we're like don't feel like it is. But I don't think that our generations, our kids' generations, are gonna enjoy any of the kind of freedoms that we've had.
Well, pendulums swing.
I hope they do.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And that's all we can hope for. All we can do is keep doing what we do.
Yeah. So how hard was it this year? I mean, you picked like the weirdest year to make you did. Let me gather my breath. You did a lot of shit in 2020, dude. You built a bike. You got is it inaugurated into the hamsters, or you got your foot in the door with? How does that work?
So I was sponsored by Corey Ness to get into the hamsters, and there's a bit of a process to that. So it'll take me a few years, and if I'm lucky enough, I'll get that yellow shirt and get to, for me, it's in the custom motorcycle business, like those are the OG custom motorcycle guys, shit, I mean.
So did you have to make any like child sacrifices or anything to get into that?
No, that's just to become a Mason.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're into all the secret societies.
Hey.
Fucking Illuminati over here.
It's secret.
Well, we did our first podcast in the Masonic Temple.
Yeah, we did
in Stockton, which was I thought was pretty wild. Definitely a story in its own. Like
no, it's.
I think we drink Pacifico too.
Yeah, I knew you were from Texas, so you'd want some Mexican beer or something. I was stereotyping. I firmly believe that I want to be the dumbest person in the room.
Yeah.
At all times. So with the Masons, I got in that young. My parents weren't the greatest influence. I didn't have any business people that I could look up to, or I didn't have that grandpa. You know what I mean? That guy that just is rock steady. That when we're young and we're
get
dumb,
off my lawn.
Yeah, when we're young and dumb, you say, hey, look, grandpa, I fucked up, or what do I do in this situation? I didn't have that, so I was lucky enough to get steered into the Masons, and that was just a good core group of people who have just lived appropriately. And you just learn by osmosis. You don't even have to ask. You just, by being around them, you're like, oh.
Do y'all have like a group chat?
No, there's chat. You're talking about 75-year-old dudes.
I'm just saying, like, everything has a group chat now, so I figured.
No, there's no group chat. No, it's just 75-year-old dudes that, like, have you ever had a 75-year-old dude text you?
Man.
So
no, I haven't.
So you guys send smoke signals then at this point?
Pretty much.
I just imagine that group chat would be fucking wild, dude. Like,
just a bunch of titty
dicks. No, but it's I think that's awesome, but like.
And the same thing with the hamsters. Yeah. I want to be surrounded by the OGs.
Did you always want to like join the hamsters, or is it something that kind of like it grew into like existence with you wanting to do that?
It's something that I thought would be really cool, but I didn't ever think it was going to be within my grasp.
Yeah.
I never dreamt in a million years when I was starting that Corey Ness would be like, yeah, that'd be cool. I'll sign his paperwork.
Hell yeah.
What? That's, as a kid, that's, the Nesses are like Joe Montana or something for me. I could give two shits about football play. Those are my heroes. Don Hotob, rest in peace. He just passed away. But you got Donnie Smith. You got all these guys that without them, we would, honestly, I truly believe this, without those guys, we probably wouldn't be in this industry.
For sure.
There might not even be.
There wouldn't be really an industry.
There wouldn't be an industry. And we're lucky enough to be part of the best industry in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is it that, like, I get owners of companies' cell phone numbers, and if I got a question, we send them a text.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the oil and gas industry. I guarantee it.
I text you, John. You're an owner of a company. I just text you.
Right, but all around the world. That's how we do business.
There's a lot of different
because we're passionate. We love it. We're not. I'm not in the motorcycle business because I went to business school and I thought, oh yeah, this is a good profit center, and let me look at my spreadsheet. Yeah. No, I was a young kid who worked for Harley. I started a bike shop, and I lost a lot of money and had a bike shop without a bike, and half the time the lights were out at the house, and I had to cut the lock off the water main to turn my water on and all that kind of shit because I didn't have any idea what I was doing, and I just didn't quit, and somehow I figured it out.
That's probably. Do you think that right now, like this is kind of a tangent on what you just said, but do you think right now that there's way more of a path to this success in motorcycle culture or motorcycle shops now? Because of looking like what you've done with yours and your online store, and looking at these other brands across the country that have kind of mimicked, not necessarily mimicked you, but just have taken that path.
Well, I can tell you this. I think it's easier, and this is why.
Yeah.
When I started my bike shop, you were on a very small scale. I've heard you talk about this with Payne as well.
Yeah.
My customer base was, maybe the next town over or whatever. We didn't have social media. It was we put a phone number out there.
I had business cards.
The phone book, no joke. I had business cards,
Yeah.
and if there was a bike at the grocery store, I'd put one in the seat right there. Like maybe the guy will call me, that kind of thing.
When dudes ask me for business cards now, I go, ugh.
I don't have business cards. Like I try and carry stickers or something, but I don't. I almost never.
If you need a business card, me bro, I don't want you as a customer.
But and then there was no, hey, let me call the next bike shop over and ask him a question.
Well, they come and go. You've been around long enough, and I know that I've seen it here in Dallas, and I know you've seen it in NorCal, which is a huge motorcycle entity in our industry, right? You see these people come and go. They become the hottest thing for a year, and then they fade away, whether it's tweaking, they got into boats, or whatever the case may be.
I think we had a conversation about this, but
yeah.
What other? I'm sure there are other industries, but in our industry, it's a passion-driven industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're a mechanic. You love to work on bikes. Maybe you can build a fucking badass bike.
Mm-hmm.
Well, building a bike is 10% of having a bike shop.
Exactly.
You actually have to be nice to your customers. You have to not lie to them. You have to run a business. So
yeah,
we have an industry that, you get a guy fired up who wants to be a biker, wants to own a bike shop because he loves working on bikes. Well, it's really easy to fail, and
because the funnest part is the thing that doesn't pay the bills.
And I, right off the start, got this big shop with big rent and all that, and I lost my ass, and I took these credit card loans, and where they call you up, they're like, "Here's $15,000. We'll just take 17% of your sales, for a while." That shit, keeping the doors open, and for a long time I didn't have a motorcycle because I had a motorcycle shop, just all that stuff. But to learn business, and eventually I learned it. But there's a lot of guys who are like, well, shit, I'm a union carpenter. I can always go back to being a carpenter and actually feed my family.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we have a high failure rate.
Well,
I guess I'm, from my side, I feel like the guys who are around today, like the Corey Nash, you and the different guys out there, that passion's never gone away. That's the difference, is the passion's still there. Well, that's why you were able to, you took the $17 for every dollar you spend, it goes back to some credit card that you don't even, you have 27 credit cards you don't money to. It's like that passion was so strong. And that's what, as an outsider looking in, I see a lot of shops around the country okay, well, that passion is not as strong in this shop as I see in your shop. Or in
what's weird about that too is that shops will have the passion for motorcycling, which is something I try to promote. Is I want to promote the shops that are stoked. They love motorcycles, meaning when they get off work, they go ride to bike nights. They go on trips. They do shit like that. Not all right, cool, bikes are done. We're going to Havasu for the weekend. That's not the kind of bike shop. Not to say they're not good or to take away from the talents or skills. I want to see people reinvest into the motorcycle industry. You get from it, it takes care of you and your family, and then you reinvest it back in there so that we all can eat and keep our economy going with this.
That's what I try to do. I'm not a shop. I'm not a painter. I'm not talented like you. I'm not talented like you. You know what I mean? I can't build.
Fucking right.
I can't build shit, as even Jay said about the FXR.
I can't even hammer a nail, so.
But I try to contribute to the businesses and buy parts. I bought parts from you. I bought, you dropped off a bike.
You support a lot of companies. You support a lot of shops. I mean, I know that you've bought from Ramjet and FXR Division and the stuff that you've done with. I mean, you pretty much want a raffle bike from just about everybody.
I've never raffled a bike yet. Let me state that.
But when he does, I will get in. But I try to, support the ones I know that are contributing back to the industry, though, because there's the ones that don't, and they don't, in my opinion, don't deserve my dollar. But I see guys like John that bust his chops every day. I mean, we were literally talking earlier, like, I've sat there at 5 o'clock in the morning texting John. I'm in Nebraska. This is when he's still in California. So I know it's like 3 o'clock his time, and we're texting back and forth at 5 o'clock my time. We're chit-chatting away about my own motorcycles. The passion's there. I mean, why is he up at 3 o'clock in the morning? I have not a clue.
Well, I'd already gone to bed at 8:30, and 5-6 hours is all I get. That's just how I'm wired, and I wake up thinking about motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I can't quit thinking about motorcycles and about trips or
also,
events or
like,
business.
One of the first on that first podcast we did together, we talked about that, how it became like this business. And then right around the time we did that podcast is after you built the red, what do you call the red T-Sport style FXR?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I named that one.
Yeah, I don't name bikes either.
Yeah, my kid was watching, what cartoon has Stromboli in it? Anyway. Whereas all the people follow him or whatever. Anyway,
I should know.
No, it was.
I watched it this weekend actually with my kids.
My kids
Pinocchio. Is it Pinocchio where they turn the kids into donkeys? Anyway, I don't remember, but whatever. So I named it Stromboli in one magazine, but it wasn't until recently that I actually started naming bikes.
But one of the things that you were saying on that first podcast is how you really found a new passion for motorcycles themselves. Because one of the things we used to talk about a lot in the early days of this podcast is how doing business in this, you would lose the passion because it became so much work, right?
Yep.
And then somehow riding or a community of people kind of reignited that passion. Because I've said this a million times, and the people that don't know, like, you did the first camp out that inspired us to do the camp out.
Really?
Yeah. This is how it worked, though.
No,
we talked about doing camp outs.
So I decided to do one.
So you did one, but you did it. And then I'm like, fuck it. Well, if John can do it, we're doing it too. And so, because like that first podcast we did with you was like, we started in January, and me and the wife was over there at your shop in May. Yeah, because we were there, because we were actually staying in Bethel Island on her birthday, which was, I didn't know it was called Methil Island.
Whatever.
So,
whatever.
But we were there.
Manteca, Methyl Island, Stinktown.
This crazy. But, we were there, and, that's the first time I met Brian from TPJ. Still kind of a good friend, but he's kind of a nerd, right?
I want a bike from him, though, so I like him.
I have to talk shit to him, because I've been telling him, like, to come to the shop, and he just won't buy a fucking plane ticket or ride his bike. But if V-Twin Visionary's doing something, he'll ride across country for that shit. So I fuck with him. But, no, we were there, like, that was something you were talking about, how just this community started to kind of grow. And whether our podcast played any kind of part of doing that.
No, it did. It inspired.
I felt like it did, and I'm not saying that to be kind of...
No. I think your podcast was a piece of it. It was...
But I think it was also Joe Kidd doing the podcast really solidified it in the NorCal area where you guys are all at.
Yeah, no, I think it was just... I still am on fire for FXRs. I love FXRs. I branched out, I didn't want to be pigeonholed in just doing FXRs, so I did that Softail. I'm about to do a Road Glide, to show customers, hey, I can do everything, not just FXRs. But
is Dusty here?
Yeah, it's probably Dusty come in. Anyways, but what was really invigorating for me was finding the community of people with the FXRs. The FXR is just the bike, and I love a lot of bikes. But really, it was the community of people at the time. It was so grassroots in the beginning, and Facebook wasn't this negative space that it's turned into. It was so positive. I had never experienced anything before where you had a question about, hey, what year did the spline shaft transmission come out, or whatever the question was, and there was 10 people there who genuinely just wanted to help.
Yeah.
Nobody was trying to, at that point, nobody was trying to sell parts. Nobody was trying to make it a profit center, and for the longest time, I still really try not to promote my online store
in
in those chats or in those pages. probably everybody in the country's seen my ads pop up there, and they're probably sick of seeing them, but you'll have to live with it. But because that was a refuge from the motorcycle business for me, it was the motorcycle community. And then I was like, oh, motorcycle community. And about that time, I started listening to you. Then I had Tyler and Tuco out of Stockton hit me up. They're like, there's no bike nights. Would you be interested? And I didn't even know these two kids.
Yeah.
Like, I say kids, but whatever. They're just younger than me.
Everybody's a kid.
And I was like, fuck it, let's do one.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden it's growing, it's bigger. And, you get to see your friends and really, I mean,
that's the community aspect though. That's the thing that like when you, as a guy like you, same thing with us here, it's about building these things for this community to actually find a fucking place to plant roots. Right. So when you do a bike night, these dudes all get together. They're just not like, hey man, I follow you on Instagram. They're doing all that shit. But then next thing you're like, well, hey dude, what are you doing this week? Let's go fucking rip the mountains. Yeah. Let's go ride the coast. Let's go do something. And that's where bike nights create that. You know what I mean? You guys do yours like every other month, so they're huge.
Yeah, we try not to do them all the time.
You can't miss it. We do them like every week, so it's like, people come and go like it's no big deal, but the core group shows up. But building that community is what helps keep me connected to loving this because I see the passion in all my friends that they love it, and it's contagious. Well, you know what I mean?
For me, as much as I like the motorcycles, I like the people who ride them just as much. And for a long time in Northern California, the only events that really happened were the club events.
Yeah.
And if you're in the club, that's fucking awesome. Good for you. It's never been my deal. So I was like, I went to LA and we go to some event and it was huge. And I mean, you saw a couple vests, whatever, but there was no posturing. There was none of that. So I was like, man, we need to do this at home. So, it's worked out. Now we're going to build a cool bike night in Tennessee and I can go back and forth and just live at bike night.
Man, I think I'm talking about it too much, but there's a group in Tennessee that's
Club Style Tennessee.
Yeah, those dudes are solid, man. I think they're out of Nashville though.
Yeah, they're out, which is kind of far, but they're hitting me up. They've been so welcoming. When I just started posting about, hey, we signed papers on a building, whatever. Still really in its infancy. They're sharing my posts. They've been real instrumental, and I haven't nailed down the date for the first bike night.
You're still building the shop, though.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be open in the next 2 weeks to start generating some income.
Yeah, you're gonna leave the lingerie sign up front, right?
Dude, I don't know who I was talking to. Somebody, we were talking about you, but I was like, I said something when you were posting the mannequins with the big titties and shit. And I was like, I want one for the studio, bro. Dude. Did you get rid of them all?
No, I'm not getting rid of those. Those are going to be
sell me one, dude. I just need one.
Come visit me. Anyways.
And put one on the back of my bike.
No, those are going to be the best. Those are going to be the best models for all our clothing around the shop. Are you kidding me? So, you're talking like these huge titties with big old nipples and shit. Like it's insane. Like
you can hang parts off of them.
Yeah, no shit.
With that finger like right here, holding the camshaft.
Oh man,
I just like it would. I don't know.
Here was the most interesting thing. So, the front of the store was lingerie. Yeah. And they say lingerie on the sign. And then they had, you got to go behind the curtain to see the dildos and, the videos and all that shit.
You bought a jerk-off station.
Dude, no.
Okay.
Listen to me.
Right.
This is the most one of the cleanest places I've ever been in, all right?
Yeah.
But it was then you have the office area.
They have any, leftover dildos?
No. Hold on. Let me get there. So I would go in there to pick up my mail, right? And I go in the office, and there's the big statue of Jesus.
Did you record? Yeah. Oh, it's recorded? Yeah. I'm thankful.
There's the big statue of Jesus, and right next to Jesus was the penis pinata. And these people, they're extremely nice people, right? Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Jesus freaks who owned a porn store.
They were?
Yes.
They're Jesus freaks.
Well, I'm not going to say Jesus freaks.
So they're into Jesus, though.
They're into Jesus.
Yeah.
And they owned a porn store. And then the back section where everybody's like, oh, those must be the jerk off booths. No, that was just, they had a separate business. That was indoor storage. But,
That's what they called it, I guess.
yeah, no, but they were hella cool. They left me all the displays and all the mannequins. I was going to say dummies, but the mannequins, a bunch of glass displays. There was all kinds of shit in there.
Yeah.
But like, no, they took all their inventory because they're not dumb. They're selling it on eBay right now or something.
That's awesome, man.
I guess they had owned that store for like 30 years. And we were at the V-Twin Visionary thing.
Dusty?
Hey, what's up, Dusty? We're at the V-Twin Visionary show.
Uh-huh.
And, oh, man, knocking the walls down. Son of a bitch. Anyway.
It was, yeah. Here, set it right here.
Anyway, so they had been in business for 33 years. And the lady is an older lady who ran it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm at the V-Twin Visionary show, and I'm talking to some local guy there. He's like, "Oh, you were in the old porn store?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Man, that lady was nice as shit. You'd go in there, and she'd tell you she'd tried every product in there, and she'd tell you by personal experience which one was good and which one wasn't." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Did they sell fleshlights?
I don't know.
They had to. No, it was
Do you
just.
want me to order one, Chase?
I don't. Do you have an account with them?
No. I probably can get one,
Yeah.
but we'll get an Indian fleshlight for you.
Well, I think that
Somebody out there send Jason an Indian fleshlight, please.
Please don't. I might use it. How big is this fucking house? What's the square footage of this?
7,500 square feet,
So how big is your Stockton location?
13,000 square feet.
So it's about half.
About half, but I can actually own the building in Tennessee. So in Tennessee, we're in a fairly upscale city, on the road to the Dragon and all that, and I was able to buy the building. Where in California, we're on Wilson Way in the hood without indoor plumbing.
Yeah.
The floors are like, old asphalt that are lumpy. The roof leaks.
It's like a big hangar.
Yeah, it's a old world. They decommissioned World War II stuff in there, and then it was a forklift. It's been all kinds of shit, but it's an old building.
You're right. You back up on the tracks, don't you?
Yeah,
Okay,
and there's no way in hell I could ever afford to buy it. Not possible.
Yeah.
The business model doesn't work. So, the economics in Tennessee are so that we can buy it. And
Makes sense.
But 7,500 square feet, I'm going to make it work.
So when's
Yeah.
your grand opening date?
I haven't set a date for grand opening. I hope to be open for business. I was shooting for March 1st. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking March 7th, a week, maybe 2 weeks after that, we'll be open.
So no Daytona for you, right?
No.
Fuck that place, right?
Dude, don't be hate.
Everybody's all of a sudden into Daytona. It's like something's
never
in the
been.
water. It's horrible.
I'm going to
It's
go
not
next year.
terrible.
I will be
I'm
there
going
next
this
year.
I'm going this year.
Okay.
Been there a couple of years. Been there a couple times.
So everybody from Tennessee is like, you going to Daytona? All these people. And I'm like,
Lazy people, because they go to the closer one instead of the real shit, which is Sturgis.
Well, I'll be in Sturgis too.
Sturgis is all that matters.
Technically, Sturgis is closer to my house than Daytona.
Yeah, but he's on the other side of Tennessee,
Yeah,
which is 400
Yeah.
miles.
No, I'm really
So-
close to
Tennessee's the width of New Mexico and shit, but the depth.
yeah, it's not very tall.
Yeah, you can cross it in a couple hours. Yeah,
But
this way it's a day drive.
But no, I'll be there next year just because I want to experience it and do all that shit. But I like to do shit on my bike.
Yeah.
I was able to ride to Sturgis this year. I'm riding again this year, or last year, riding again this year.
What when you were doing that, because you had to build a custom bike to do the hamster deal. One of the requirements is to build a frame up build, right?
So it's a custom motorcycle club.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys know my FXRs. I consider that custom.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I figured I called up a friend of mine, Grady Pfeiffer, and I asked Grady. I was like, "Hey, Grady, which bike should I bring to Sturgis? Because you got to bring your bike. It's got to be registered in your name and all that to prove that you're not just some guy who wants
Yeah.
to squeeze in the club or something like that, or group, or I don't know. It's not a club, but whatever it is. Organization. How about that? And you got to prove that you're actually a motorcycle guy. Here's your custom motorcycle and all that. Well, I asked Grady, I was like, hey, what bike should, and this is like the middle of June. I was like, hey, what bike should I bring? And he's like, have you cut the frames? Have you done anything? I'm like, you don't cut an FXR frame, bro. Like,
Unless you put a twin cam in there.
yeah, I don't even cut them then. But so he's like, you need something. You need a custom frame bike. Well, a few months prior, I had bought a row frame Pro Street bike from the auction that was god awful ugly, but it had a Patrick Racing 113, all polished, the spline shaft transmission, and all the good FXR drivetrain. And I really just bought it for some ball milled parts and the FXR drivetrain. So I'm running around my shop the middle of June going, holy shit, I got to have a custom bike. Like, because the hamsters thing is a big, big, big deal to me. I'm like, I'm going to make this happen. I don't care if I have to if I don't sleep for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So I looked at this bike. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to redo this bike. So we tore down the frame, and me and my daughter repolished the motor and the tranny. And I had Brian from TBJ make a cool tank and reshape some fenders for me. And we put this bike back together, and it was like, oh, this thing's actually fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird how blessings happen, right?
Isn't it weird though? Like right when you built this, it seemed like this resurgence of the Pro Street FXR was starting to kind of pop up into like the culture again.
So, I'm not a really religious guy.
Yeah.
But it seems like sometimes I step in shit and come out smelling like a rose. Like I had zero interest in a Pro Street FXR before I built the Pro Street FXR, and then after I was done with it, when you ride something like that, you just feel like a fucking badass. It's like riding a chopper or something. You just, it's fucking cool, And that bike at 80 miles an hour feels like I'm doing 120 because I have fairings on all my stuff. Like, who rides without a fairing? A savage? So I built this bike and I'm riding it from Spearfish down to Sturgis, and like I feel like I'm fucking cooking.
Yeah.
I look next to my buddy Mike Miller. He's riding my FXR. We're heading down the FXR show, or I can't remember what show it was. Trying to find out how fast we're going. So we get there. I ask him, "Hey, how fast are we going?" He's like, 80. Oh my god.
Well, that setup. I mean, that whole style of bike. Like, it's interesting that you say that. Like, that it feels a certain way, even though like you're not actually going.
No.
You're not hauling ass. But I mean, 80's still hauling ass.
No,
though.
it's cool. I mean,
But you're just getting everything to the fucking body,
you're
man.
just you're just in it, and it's a little it's lightweight, So I've never weighed it, but I guarantee it weighs a lot less than an FXR because there's almost nothing there, So you're riding a lightweight bike, high speeds, no stuff, but it's just like the stance, and you just kind of feel like a badass, I feel like it's cool.
Well, like we shot those photos for the
dude.
Cycle
Thank
Source
you, by the
magazine.
way,
dude. That was an experience for me, dude.
Like those photos. Like, I'm like, oh, fuck, I actually kind of look half-ass cool in that. It's like, Jason's a good photographer.
Well, show the
Thank
photo.
you,
I used it
Photoshop.
for the deal right here.
Thank you, Photoshop.
If you hit the still, it'll show up. So, the photo that's on the screen, I don't know if you can't see it.
Yeah, I think I know which one.
So, it's just that one you come, dude,
Yeah.
we were driving back. We were in your truck, and I was sitting in the back of the truck just trying to snap some photos. It's like, I'm trying to remember all the YouTube videos I watched for this type of photography. And I'm like trying everything. And I was able to get a couple good shots. We were coming around a corner and the road winds, and it just like, it was a perfect shot.
Yeah, it
man.
just worked well.
It's a beautiful picture. I mean,
so what
hands down.
sucks is like, not to go photography nerd on you guys real quick though, but that little tablet right there is like I ended up buying that because that and the screen, which ironically is almost the same price. Because when I first edited those photos on that computer, it was yellow as fuck. And I don't know if you remember those. They were really warm feeling.
Okay.
And that's because when I would edit it on that computer, it looked perfect on there. But then when you transfer it to an iPhone or an Apple or put it online, it changed. It wasn't the accurate colors.
Oh, wow.
It's some weird shit, man. Like, I thought just buying a camera was all you had to do, but no, you have to buy monitors that cost as much as a camera, and little tablets to work on that cost as much as a camera.
I just got PS Express on my cell phone,
Exactly.
you know, and throw a cool filter on it, and
you run with it, you know. But that was a good opportunity because that was like the first time that I ever had like I felt like I had to do good or had to produce something, and I never shot any fucking primary side of your bike. I was like, I never think about it because the primary side you just never really shoot it, but like for a magazine you have to shoot it to provide that coverage. And I'm like, I didn't have nothing. I think you provided a photo for that. Or
Jason Howman
did,
took some photos with I don't know what he was using, but we're at the V-Twin Visionary show.
Yeah.
So.
But no, it was a good opportunity.
I actually got in Cycle Source. That was fucking amazing. Like, you know,
You're in one of the last magazines to be produced right now.
Yeah, no, it's.
Yeah.
I don't care. Getting in a magazine's still fucking cool.
Oh yeah, and honestly, man, like Cycle Source being one of the last ones out there, it's awesome because Cycle Source is a small entity, right? They're not like this huge
They're
thing.
not Paisano Publications. Or
Yeah, so they were
whatever.
able to, they're able to scale down and also still produce a magazine. So, in my opinion, is for the length of time, I think they can stay open in magazines because I've been
Why
buying
not?
them.
Yeah, I subscribe.
I mean, I was talking to him the other day because I asked him about the performance show they're doing, their bike show they're doing in Daytona, and they're adding a performance bagger show part of it, which wasn't part of their advertisements at all.
Well, I'm hoping, like I've been talking with Xavier from Providence Cycles, and I'm actually supposed to be on their thing this Sunday.
I got to call Xavier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually supposed to be on the Shop Talk
Okay.
this Sunday, which I'm nervous about, by the way.
Oh,
I don't do good on other people's podcasts or
You'll
other
be
people's
all right.
shows.
You'll be
I
all
like
right.
stumble over my words times 10, and I'm like, I got a good point. I don't know how to get it out there. But that's one of the things I was telling Xavier, and I think he relayed the message to Callan that, like, they're one of the only sources of media right now, and our bike culture is just so thick with – we all kind of hang out in the same scene, but we ride a lot of different styles of bikes. You know what I mean? So seeing a nice new Softail in their magazine would be just as appealing as seeing your Pro Street.
Yeah, or whatever.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a Chopper. It's like being one of the last surviving magazines just means that now you got to fucking make us all. It's kind of like it's all inclusive now, right? Like we want to see more out of that magazine now, I guess.
Or you could look at it as they have a huge opportunity to do more.
Yeah.
You know, it's their magazine. They can do
For
whatever
sure,
the fuck they want. But, you know, they have this huge opportunity where they're the last man standing.
But it's like at the same time, it's like there's a lot of people that just got into bikes when the FXRs became super popular, right?
Yeah.
And so they don't really that was kind of like when the magazines were falling off. If
Yeah.
you,
Oh, no,
depending
you're right.
on where you're from in the country. So there's a lot of people that never really got to experience what it was like to go check out a magazine and flip through it at a Barnes and Nobles and see that bike that, you know, because you've already seen it for 45 weeks on Instagram first.
Yeah, well,
You know?
back when we started, that wasn't the case, was it?
Man.
No,
Like it was fucking like the best feeling in the world to get in a magazine.
It was like, what the shit? I remember my first Easy Rider. It was like, holy shit.
See, I wish that I'd never gotten Easy Rider. That's the one, but man, like, I don't know. I know what you mean, man. It's fucking wild. It's like, it's crazy because you think it's going to do something like massive, but it really just makes you feel like you made it in some weird way.
I don't think, I think magazines are just validation for us.
Yeah.
And it's cool artwork to hang up in the shop, you know, like when customers come in, then they see, because I tell them, no, hey, look, here's the picture. I was in a magazine.
legit.
Yeah, like, look, you can see it on the wall.
Right.
You know, they believe in me.
Yeah.
So should you. Can I change your oil? You know? But that's not a joke, by the way. That's dead serious. But no, you're right. It does feel good. I don't think, I mean, I get more coverage out of Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know, we get more relevant followers or people who are actually interested in what you're doing than some guy just flipping through on the shit or going, whatever, you know.
Yeah, but there is the iconic to be in a magazine. Like my bike was in a magazine, 2018 I think it was, that Jace painted. I mean, that to me is still my that's still my staple. Like people are like, oh,
it's
know,
a
nice
trophy.
bike. I'm like,
It's a
nah,
trophy.
I got a bunch of Big Wheel Bagger magazine plaques downstairs. I'm still proud of it. So.
You should be.
Yeah, it's like, I got a bunch of sport bike plaques too
Dude,
that I built back in the day.
That's your work. That's your craft. You know, and everybody wants to hate on a big wheel bagger or a gold wing or whatever the fuck, right? You know,
Gold wings are just gay. No.
By the way, Sax, this is FX Going Mike's partner in crime over here that we were talking about.
this is
the whole time.
Dusty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dusty's coming to work in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So,
Gold wing.
Are you wing dinging it this year too?
Well, that's been a popular topic in the wing dinger group on Instagram.
I haven't
I
received.
haven't cleared it with my new boss.
I haven't received the time off request yet. Hopefully, he's having a good enough time in Tennessee. But no, we're all about bikes. You want to go, fucking go.
What would happen though if like you just built this badass performance bagger and then like you go rip the dragon with them and that fucking going just
Dude, listen
rips
to me.
ass around the corner?
Listen, hold on, Jace.
From
This-
87, what
Listen,
year was it?
hold on. It already happened. So we came out for the East Coast FXR Jam.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm on my FXRT. That's fucking. You know, I've got all the cool guy parts on my bike. You know, and I think I can ride it fairly well. Well, two lessons from that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going around this corner, and I think that there's no way anybody can go around this corner fucking faster.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy on like a stock lowrider with long hair and a big old chain wallet, a single disc, just fucking passes me on the inside, making me feel stupid, right? So you got that, and then my favorite thing to do in the Sierra Nevadas is going up to like Ebbets Pass, and you got some guy on his sport bike.
And then you chase them down.
And you chase them down and you
I've
pass
done
them.
that, yeah.
And the only reason you're able to do that is because they don't know how to ride a bike.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
otherwise we can't.
Yeah.
Well, there's these two guys on, they weren't Gold Wings, but they were big Honda touring bikes. And they're up front, and I'm like, I'm getting these motherfuckers. You know, we're on the way to the Dragon, the road from North Carolina on the way to the Dragon. I don't know what it's called. I chase them down, and I just fucking smoke them, right? And I think, in retrospect, they let me pass them.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they let me go for a while. And we're talking like old guys. They're probably wearing Crocs, you know, just fucking whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Man, I'm doing as hard as I can. And here these guys just come chase me down, pass me, and throw me the peace sign, you know? And it's just like,
Yeah.
I love you'll never catch me on one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, let's be real. You know, we're riding fucking glorified John Deere tractor motors, like,
Yeah.
you know, and we put cool guy parts on them and we have fun.
That would be fucking interesting to see if like to transition this conversation into the BRL. What if someone fucking like straight up brought a going in that bitch and just
They don't
smoked it?
allow it.
Yeah.
So
what
here's
if the wing ding says, you know what, we're showing up and we're fucking
we're
hostile
running this
takeover.
bitch.
Race me, bitch, pussy.
They're like, I cut off my jean shorts just for this. So
I got brand new green Crocs for this damn race.
yeah. No, so
Leather Crocs like boots. To get on the track. Yeah.
us Harley guys aren't interested in any other things.
Yeah. It's
For the
there's so many-
general as a general rule. I
Don't
love
you-
all
you got an
bikes.
adventure bike too, don't you? Or did you have one or was it somebody else?
Josh Berkey just bought one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, my
Josh.
buddy Josh. He's always FXR Josh to me. Anyways,
Yeah,
but
he's the going fucking like
Look-
the patient zero, isn't he?
look, so
For the gold wings, yeah.
what if we weren't in the industry? Like,
Well, that dude, I get in these conversations drunkenly, and which is the worst time to do it. And that's kind of the thing is like, I know I have, and I think you can agree that with yourself, like we've sifted through it and found something badass, and that badass is right now.
Yep.
And it's been for X amount of years. Not to say that it wasn't badass when we started,
oh,
but we
it's
lost.
badass for us now.
Yeah, it's really badass for us now. We've put in our dues in a sense, so we're actually somebody, if you will, in the industry. But not that matters, but what matters is it just opens up doors and opportunities that makes you feel like all the work that you've been doing is like has a place to go now. Like I got a place to put this knowledge and this experience to make this industry better, make it
Yep.
more fun, make a scene out of it, like you did with the 209 bike nights. That's what it's called, right?
Yep. 209
And,
bike nights.
It's a great time to be alive in this thing. And it's like when I think about like all the bike builders that I've met over my years in my industry, in this industry, like I feel like I'm getting super old, and I'm like, fuck, how much more I got in it? But it's not like football, right? Where like I only have a couple more years to play.
No,
it's like
we're just getting better. We're like fine wine.
Yeah, there's like dudes that like come into the scene at 50 years old and become mega stars for and in the industry, and I'm like excited about that, like to be at my age now. And I know that you feel the same way with yours because we know we have a long career as long as health and everything.
For me, like I got to say this the right way. So it is really it feels really good to be recognized. I'm not gonna lie. It feels really good when I'm in some town I've never been in, and somebody comes up and says, "Hey, are you John Jessup? Hey, how you doing?" And you get to talk to these people. That's awesome. It feels great. But to be honest, like I feel like maybe it's my 15 minutes. I'm just gonna keep showing up, trying to hit base hits, and just keep going to work. And if the performance thing in 5 years isn't cool anymore and it's something else, which there's trends, you know. I'm still gonna do what I do. I'm still gonna have a good time. Like, where else can we do this? Like, this is just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens, but we are young. I'm 42. You're 38. Yeah. So, we're young. We got 30 years left in this shit. What I'm excited for.
Shit, I got like 15. I don't know what you're
whatever. I got a little while, hopefully. Knock on wood.
I gotta stop painting, man. Otherwise, I'm only gonna have 15.
Well, but what I'm excited for is all these relationships I'm building across the country. So I'm excited that I know people in this industry from all over the country now. And when there's that event, whether it's a drag show or Sturgis or Daytona or whatever event it is, kind of the other part of the event isn't like, oh, I got to go to Daytona and ride. It's I got to go to Daytona and see Sean from fucking PM or Jesse from Legends or whoever. I get to see my friends in the industry. And I'm like, I still got 30 plus years of this shit. Yeah. God willing. That's what's exciting to me.
I agree.
I mean, me and Kyle were talking literally the other day about it, like, because I was giving him a hard time. I was like, dude, I don't even know why we want to bring my Road King to any show in Daytona because you brought.
You got to talk into the microphone.
Oh, sorry. So with my Road King, I want to take it to the Daytona, and we were talking. I was like, dude, the 2 bikes you just built. I'm talking right directly in the.
You can't look that way and talk into the microphone.
Okay, so like we were talking about Kyle. We're talking about his bike he just built. I just did it again too. But we were talking about how, the best part of I'm literally talking right in the microphone. But we were literally talking about how it's not about I'm talking directly into the microphone.
Now you're good.
But we were talking about how it's not the bike sets I'm looking forward to Daytona. It's literally all the people I've met over the last 2 years, and like going to Daytona a couple years ago, hang out with Curtis and him and Roach and all those guys. Like the people we meet in this industry is what makes this industry that keeps giving that passion every time. Like that's what I'm more excited about going to Daytona is the people. Like the shows are fine and whatever. The riding's terrible because it's Florida, but it's the people you're going to go hang out with the next 3, 4, 5 days. That makes that so much fun.
In retrospect, I mean, 100% agree, 1,000%. The thing that it's kind of unfair though, because a lot of people that listen to these podcasts or follow us on whatever, they don't necessarily get the same kind of experiences because I'm hanging out with John Jessup behind the curtains at this fucking bike show and somebody else.
Yeah, that's true. That's
like
very
true. It's a different experience for us because we get the
behind the scenes
things in a different way, right? And even my friends group, I try to bring them into all the shit we do, but that friends group grows every year. It's like fuck, man. Eventually, like I can't get all you motherfuckers backstage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be.
I get it, but at the same time, it should be the same thing for them because before I knew any of these people, we'd go like the Redwood Run up in Northern California, and I get to hang out with my friends.
Yeah,
so whether it's us that are in the industry and we get to see all our industry people, or it's you have that group of friends that you get to all meet up from Daytona, or maybe you went to college together, or whatever it is, It's different, but it's kind of the same. Like they make their own backstage.
It's definitely
area.
the same in a sense for what you just said.
But
it's just.
But we are blessed to be in this industry.
It's like one of those things. Like you're just trying to like, look, man. Like I want you to come to Daytona. Well, the good thing is that we have so many events now that are so more inclusive, like whether they're campouts or
Yep.
they're like these meetups, like performance bagger meetups that's taking place at Daytona and the small shows there. It's like, yeah, you can mingle and feel like you're part of it, you know, but
Well, or just be part of it.
yeah.
That's all there is to it. So the one thing that's hard for me is, and I was this guy for long time, like, man, if you want to come say hi to me, fucking come say hi to me. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I'll shake hands fucking with people all day long. I want to check out other people's bikes. You know, I'm into this shit. Like, you know, so, you know, for a long time, like I'd go to a bike show and there's somebody I'm looking up to and I'm like, I don't want to go fucking bug that guy.
I'm bad at that too because
Yeah.
I never know what to say, man.
No,
I don't want to waste their time.
But
with like
at the same time, like the people who have come up and like, whether it's a bike night or whatever, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Fuck, I'm checking out their bike. Now we have a relationship, you know, and okay, there's hundreds of people like that I know now, you know, and usually I remember what they ride more than their name and, you know, because I'm into bikes and all that shit, but fuck, you introduce yourself 5 times, I'm going to remember your name, you know?
Yeah, it's like how many people have Chris FXR blue, Chris FXR red.
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
you start
I'll
the
know your
bike
Instagram.
and the color,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you put their Instagram name in your phone because
Yep.
it's like, fuck, man, like I too many homies, man,
But
or too many acquaintances, if you will.
But that, you know, what I'm trying to get here is just don't be an outsider. Just
Yeah.
decide you're going to be an insider. Like, just be it.
Yeah.
And you'll be it.
You ever
At
watch
the
The
bike?
Secret?
Uh-uh.
Gotta will it into manifest it into reality or some shit like that with your mind.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good point, man. Like I said, it is one of those deals that there's plenty of events where you can come and be a part of it, and there is no curtain that's people are behind, and that's where you get to kind of join. But also, it's like if that's your goal, though, if your goal is to just come there and be somebody's
don't
friend,
be a groupie either.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one of the coolest fucking things ever, and Brian, you're gonna laugh if you're listening to this. But so I was at my very first FXR show.
yeah,
All right. And Brian Clock was looking at my bike, and I went and introduced myself, and he's like, man, I came to this show. I really wanted to see this bike. And I was like, holy shit, Brian Clock wanted to see my bike. This is fucking insane. You know, like, but now I talk to the guy, like, because I went to introduce myself. Hey, how you doing? And that's how everybody is. Everybody is just regular fucking people. We love motorcycles. And if you're into motorcycles, there's a good chance we're going to get along.
yeah. Brian's super down to earth. Like he's a great ambassador for
He is.
that end. Like I hate to put him on a different spot, but I feel like he's at he is at a different level.
No, there's no doubt.
And his level of what he provides to guys like in our space is inspiring because like he's so approachable and humble and he's chill and he's like into bikes, but he's got his hands in everything and it's just like he's cool, you know.
No, yeah,
he
he's
doesn't
just
feel like he's too cool for school, you know what I mean?
But that's what's so awesome about our industry, right? Because you have guys like Brian or I can name a dozen others that actually love motorcycles. You know, and typically if you love motorcycles and I love motorcycles, even if they're not even the same kind of motorcycles, there's a good chance we're going to get along.
Make it work, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that, I keep talking about our industry, but that's what one of the things I'm in love with this industry because the more and more people I meet, the more and more relationships I form, the more I realize.
Dude,
like,
I remember I was at your shop once, and I think I was there with my daughter. We stopped by there to say hi one day, and you were handling a customer, and it was the most annoying shit for me to listen to the customer ask you these annoying ass questions, and I was like, how did you keep your shit together? Like I would have told him to fuck off. Like 30. That's why I don't sell parts and stuff like that. I work on bikes. But he was just like, and I know you're not gonna remember this customer, but it just like this dude kept hammering you with like annoyances. It's like you had to prove yourself through words instead of through your work.
Yeah.
And then just like, oh well, so and so down the street's cheaper, and you know you're like, well, you know, like, but those things drain you and your enthusiasm. But then when you get around everybody else, it is just like
it's a boost.
It boosts you back up, so it levels you out. You know what I mean?
No, there's
Not every customer's that way.
No.
but
I'd
there
say
are
the
some.
vast majority of customers are not that way, thank God. And the older I've gotten, the fewer customers I get like that, or maybe I'm just better at dealing with those.
I'm the same way. I feel like because I look older now, I feel like people they don't try to get over as much.
No, you're right.
You know,
the
like-
young guy that when I was 23, first of all, and I'll just be real, why are you going to a 23-year-old's bike shop? Let's be real. To get a fucking cheap price.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to a 23-year-old going, oh, this guy's an expert. Because I was not an expert at
There's
23.
5 23-year-olds in there working on bikes. We have a combined experience of 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Equal
so
to 1.5 years of MMI school.
so
But
like
it's hard. It's hard because a lot of people are trying to get to that point, but getting to where we are now in our lives in motorcycles, we've got a very similar investment with our time. This stuff I feel like is just now became the most amazing thing. It was amazing in its own way 10 years ago.
dude, you have to pay your dues.
But now it's like, fuck, I didn't know it can get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you have to pay your dues. That's just how life is. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit if you're a carpenter. I don't give a shit if you do electricity. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
you start off as the bitch.
Yeah.
That's how it is, right?
Total poles, man. I
You know?
believe in it.
And you do it long enough and you don't quit, and next thing you know, man, you're a little bit higher up on the totem pole, like you said.
Exactly.
And thank God I didn't quit.
I mean, that's one of the things that a lot of people do is they see the hard. I don't know. It's so weird because, like I said, when I got into this industry, I was working around a dude that was on painting $10,000 choppers. He was in every magazine every month. He was, the baddest motherfucker around with paint. He painted all the bikes like Rick Fairless, all that. So seeing this dude, I was like, fuck, man. Like, how am I ever going to be at this dude's level? He was 36 when I met him, right? I was 21. And I fucking watched that dude and everything he did. And now here I am. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And
but you're 38.
I'm
You're
38.
not 21.
Yeah. And it's like,
You know?
it's been a long fucking hard road to get to this point. And I don't know where he's at in his career versus mine. And that's not really the point.
Yeah,
The point is that I'm still here. And I feel like I have more to learn and gain to do better shit later on too.
No,
so it's like, it's not that I'm not in the end of my road, but I'm like hoping.
I think the secret to business is just showing up every day
Yeah.
and trying to hit a base hit or trying to learn something new.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while we get a home run. It does happen, but not very often. Like there are those days where you go to work and that you get that annoying customer or that guy who just fucking loses his shit on you or whatever. And it pops your balloon. You want to say, fuck this shit. I can, or maybe there's an economic downturn and you're trying to figure out how to keep the lights on and all that kind of stuff, which happens.
Yeah.
And, but if you don't quit, you just keep fucking going.
Yeah.
Like for me, I didn't have an option. So I went like during the economic downturn.
You spent the last 20 years learning how to be a bike shop guy. So it's like you didn't have the carpenter job to go run back to.
I didn't. Like,
So
when the economic downturn happened in 2008 and fuck, I'd work all day and then go stand in the Stockton is a port city. So I'd go stand in the union line for the longshoremen, like to try and pick up a shift, do whatever I could to
extra. Yeah.
Just to have some money, cause I mean,
it's probably hard for people to look at the bike industry because they see our social medias and shit like that. And they probably think, oh, that looks like fun. That looks great. And it is. But it's never quite the kind of money you can make if you're just a roofer.
No, I mean, roofing does okay, but I mean, you guys have way more sexier job than I do. Like, I can't walk into a bar and
He
say,
wears collars, dude.
like, I walk into a bar. What do you do? I sell roofs for a living. What do you do? I own a bike shop. I'm a custom painter. See, it's not gonna work out as well for me as it will for you guys.
well,
I'm just saying.
So
I mean, be real.
life's about pros and cons, right? I might be let's franchise. You want to open a bike shop? Anyways, so
You need a roof on that one you just got?
I might. But
Are you licensed there?
I'm licensed everywhere.
there's I mean, Dusty's going through this right now, and I hope I'm not putting you on blast, Dusty, right now. But like, Dusty's a fucking welder. Like that's his professional welder. That's his career, and he's decided, you know what? I'm willing to take a pay cut and come to work in the bike industry and see how that works out. And
hey, shoot the mic over there. What was that decision? Like, what made you want to make that decision?
Speaking of the microphone. Right. Well, I mean, for me, what I do, which is pipeline welding, is that job's pretty much non-existent right now. And I got to do something. I could sit around the house and, and wish for a job and hope for it or whatever, but kind of been wanting to relocate to that part of the world anyway. And me and my wife were driving through Tennessee, going up to New Jersey to see her sister for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And seen where John was, opening a shop up there. And it was just something fun to talk about. Everybody knows driving through Tennessee's not fun. Not west to east side.
Yeah. Once you pass, I don't have any more. I'm out.
So, anyway, we talked about it and just passed the time while I'm driving, whatever. And then we get back, and John makes a post on Facebook about hiring. So I called John, and we talked it over. And I think John was more concerned for my well-being than I was. He's like, hold on, let's pump the brakes. Let's think about this. And I was like, look, for me, I can grab a travel trailer. I can come give it a try, let my kids finish school. Mm-hmm. At that point, if it's working out, everybody's happy, then me and my wife relocate to Tennessee.
Yeah.
If it's not working out for whatever reason, or just John decides that he don't need me, hook onto the travel trailer and go back home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple, and not a lot of guys don't have that opportunity. It's a really neat opportunity that I have right now. The timing's perfect. I'd love to switch careers. I'm honestly burnt out. I've been on the road for 15 years. My kids are 9 and 11. They're half grown. I've missed 85 to 90% of that. So I'm looking forward to. The money's not going to be, I'm being really realistic with myself. The money's not going to be anywhere close, but the quality of life is going to be so much better.
Yeah, the perspective there is the main thing, because to work on something you're actually interested in every day, like, is a very rare thing. Like,
most people don't have that. No, you're right.
That,
it's something we take for granted.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm more interested in photography right now than anything I do in this shop, but that doesn't necessarily pay any of my bills.
Yeah.
So I have to compartmentalize my things I really, really want to do and still put heart and soul into everything I do that I might not want to do as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And so I'm trying to grow that, though. I'm trying to grow this other thing just like you. I'm trying to, but a lot of it's when you tell people time doesn't resonate with people the same way when you're talking to someone like me that's been doing it for 15 years, or someone like you that's been doing it for 20 years. It's like, you don't think about 20 years of putting in effort into something. You can do it quicker. I mean, especially when you're working on someone like him who's already figured shit out. Right. Same thing like with Saxon working on me. It's like, I'm going to help you get there quicker.
Yeah, no, I'm an open book. Yeah.
If you listen.
No.
I was talking about the listening thing downstairs earlier. Like
I'll surround myself with only people who listen. Yeah. That's the one. So in the past, this is the first time I've ever hired Harley trained mechanics, and I got 2 of them, Jesse Taylor out of Oregon, and then Paul Driscoll out of California, and then Dusty here. I've never had Harley trained mechanics. So, and the labor force in Stockton, it's a little harder to talk people into moving to Stockton than it is to Maryville, Tennessee. But just to be real, the cost of living is much higher. It just economically doesn't work out. So I've always felt like, I can train somebody. Like, if you're willing to listen, not that I know everything, because I learn that stuff every day.
If you can make someone else that can do what you know how to do, then you can alleviate some time and mental capacity, so you can invest in other areas.
I mean, you only have your own self. You get, I can teach a lot of people how to change a tire, a lot of people to do a service, a lot of people to do cams, a lot of people to rebuild a motor and rebuild a transmission, if they'll listen and just think about how things work. A lot of people...
Competence,
a lot of people, but we'll know that within a month. Here's how to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Do it in that order and do it like that. And the reason I'm telling you is because I've done it 100 times. So, but it typically works. I didn't even remember where the hell I was going with this. But.
It is kind of easy to teaching Saxon how to sand parts. It's a mindless. It feels like a mindless job until you realize how many different variations or how many different obstacles come up, and you have to know how to navigate around them. And you're like, oh shit, this is a career for some people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And the difference between like people that sand to do detail work like we do at motorcycle shop versus a collision center that has like just an orbital sander on everything. Like you don't see everything with an orbital sander. Like when you're fucking finger fucking every little spot on a bike.
Yeah, well, there's creases and crevices, and
you see everything and you notice everything. So you just know more about what you're painting and how the surface is and stuff like that. And you got to pay attention to that and see there's just so much to learn just in sanding that I always tell people, like, once you're going to spend so much time sanding and then the rest of the stuff will fall into place.
Yeah.
The sanding thing is the one that sucks the most, but has so much more importance than anybody ever puts on it. And then once you figure that out, everything else starts to fall in place better. But it's a sucky job, man. That's just all there is to it.
Well, the motorcycle industry, there's a lot of sucky parts to it.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, and so like what Dusty brought up. So on the conversation Dusty and I had when he's like, John, I think I want to come to work for you. It's kind of me trying to talk him out of it.
Yeah.
You know, because there's no doubt I've hung out with Dusty. You know, you don't stay in the same career for 15 years like he has without some capability to learn and show up and do the kind of things that it takes. But, you know, for me, it's like a lot of people will feel like, oh, the motorcycle, it's going to be bars and hookers and we're going to it's just going to be like, woo, party, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like we're Motley Crue or something, but
it's even hard it's going to be hard for, maybe not just assuming here, but it might be hard for him to do the same kind of travels that you would be doing because, you know, it's like the point is that you need to be able to free up to go do these.
No, that's the hard part is because
you got to build a crew.
You're in the bike shop.
Yeah,
you work in the bike shop. Like, not only are there bikes that come in that are just fucking Harleys, like get tweakers work on them a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to unfuck shit and we have to figure out
goes
problems.
Back to my conversation earlier, outside people don't listen. They find tweakers to work on shit.
Well, yeah.
And then
I'm getting older and it's a little easier for me to spot those bikes and just be
13 millimeter and half, same shit, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like 30 weeks out right now. You should take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But the point being is we don't just get to build race motors and do fun shit. We actually have to work on shitty problems too, you know, and every
Solve
day,
problems,
every day is not the funnest, most exciting thing, you know, and then you work in the bike shop. So like, you know, I'm old enough and wise enough that I'm going to be like, okay, we got to come up with a schedule here and this and that. Because I want the guys who work for me to be as passionate about doing this stuff too. So they need to get out there and have fun.
Yeah.
Like in California, every year we close it for the West Coast FXR Jam, and I buy hotel rooms for my guys, and now a girl, because I want them to have fun.
Were y'all forced to hire the chick for?
No. Annie was one of the best hires I've ever made. And listen to this: if you own a bike shop, please listen to me here, okay? Annie is great because you have that crusty old guy come in who wants to just be a fucking, you know, I think people amp themselves up to come into your bike shop to like, I'm going to tell that son of a bitch what's up and blah, 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 you know, and they just amp themselves up. And then you get some young lady who been waiting tables or whatever. They know how to talk to people. And that guy comes in and he's not going to scream at that girl at the counter.
Yeah.
You know, guys typically do not scream at women. And if you are a guy screaming at a woman in my shop, you can get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So, but hiring Annie,
I think women in general, like they're very more detail oriented whenever they work.
Oh, so much more.
They do way better at focusing.
No, yeah. I mean,
I've noticed.
We all have our pros and cons, you know, and Annie was a good hire.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Annie was a good hire, you know, but
it goes back to the same thing we were talking about is you literally have that passion
and you're thriving and building that passion with the guys.
Yeah. So basically, anyway, what we're getting back to what we were saying was like enjoying the industry.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some negative stuff. Dusty,
it's
working
tough.
at a bike shop, you're going to miss some cool events.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you're also going to get to go to some cool events, and the events you get to go, you're going to be behind the fucking curtain instead of out in
Well,
the crowd.
that's kind of the thing about it. It's
You
like
know?
there's the outside perception of what it's like to work at a place or with a brand, and then there's the real life, and then like it's hard to know when that fucking amazing thing is going to be. Like imagine if you worked at Ness, right? Like if I go work at Ness, I'm fucking probably filling orders, maybe washing bikes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this job sucks. Fuck this. And then one day I'm just there at the event that they're throwing, or I'm there and I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. You never really have it's hard to know when it's going to feel that way.
Well,
you know?
that goes back to the beginning where you got to pay your fucking dues, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I can guarantee you is I never thought in 1,000 years I'd be sitting here.
Me
Just
neither.
didn't think so. Like I never thought I would have a shop on both sides of the country. I never thought I'd
Now
ever
you're
be in a
flexing. Now he's
magazine.
just flexing on my podcast.
No. but the point being is
Yeah.
Dusty's sitting in the shop working.
Yeah.
You don't quit. You show up every fucking day.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you might be fucking running it.
Yeah.
You know, next thing you know, like the guys who work for Ness, like I think Steve Watkins.
Yeah.
Steve didn't start off as a big.
I just met him. He's been there, what,
Steve's-
20-something years?
Steve's
now?
fucking awesome.
Or 30
but,
years?
But he didn't start off in that position.
Yeah.
He had to pay his dues like everybody else, you know, and now he gets to go do fun shit, you know, but just that's how it works, you know, but we never, I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is like, you just got to fucking show up to life and do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like if you want to be in the bike industry, get in the fucking bike industry, but don't quit.
Yeah.
You know, don't when it's gonna get hard. It's gonna get fucked. It's gonna be, you know, all that shit. But you know, if you can make it work and support your family and live I feel like I live a high quality of life.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's managing also your financial side of it too, because like you were saying with him, I did the same thing with Saxon. Like, look, man, can you live off of this? Meaning,
Yeah.
like, what I'm trying to do is say, like, don't come at me with some bullshit next week saying you don't make enough money and you can't live anymore, because then you're just I'm not gonna be able to afford
Yeah.
you. So it's like, can you live off this until we can build something else to make you more money, right?
well,
And that's kind of like the managing the expectations of people, so that, like, you know, like I'm taking a big investment to teach him how to do everything. He completely helps me 100%, but it's not like I can let him loose and, hey man, paint this Dyna black.
you're not
and then let me
you're
know.
not hiring just a production worker.
Yeah.
You know, so much of America or whatever is filling widgets. It's like you said, the paint body shop. Here's an orderable sander. You know, I'm
Yeah.
sure that takes a lot less skill than hand sanding and all that stuff.
I mean, when you're looking at a full car, right? You can you're not gonna. I mean, some customers do, but most people don't go over every square inch. But when you ride a bike, that's the one thing you paint that you ride on the paint.
Yep.
When you're in a car, you're in it.
Yeah, it's very true. You know, but the point being is, you know, we have a specialty.
Yeah.
You know, we're you know, it takes time to learn it. It takes time to get good and competent at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's the same way in other industries, but so much of America is turned into.
But the good thing about our industries now is it's like we were saying earlier when it started. It's not just a mechanic anymore. It's not just like, because of the way we market now with our brands and our businesses, like we have to learn all these new skills. Like you said, you got Photoshop Express on your phone.
Yeah, no,
It's a small skill you have to polish.
You know how many people made fun of me for going to social media marketing world in fucking San Diego? Oh, nerd. Well, yeah. I got money in my bank account. How about that? You know?
Catch me outside. But it's one of those things, you have to learn these new hats, because otherwise, you know, you can hire somebody doing cold calls. We were talking about it last night on your email, or fucking cold call. Hey, are you happy with your website? We can make your Google the top of the list. Like,
Yeah.
if you're in a business and you're paying those people, you're never going to make it. And I'm generalizing, but you're never going to make it.
Yeah. No, I
You
mean,
know?
the one thing about marketing is it has to be genuine.
Yeah.
That's it. It has to be
Especially
genuine.
now when everything is about, one of the things I've always said, because I was super, you can hear in the early podcast, I was super against online stores, the Revzillas and all this, until I started to learn that, okay, well, I would say that support your brick and mortars, but then these listeners would reach out and be like, dude, in Iowa, there ain't shit.
Yeah.
And then the guy that is here, he doesn't like my style of bike.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do the work that I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, well, fuck, man. Like, how does this work then? And I realized that, okay, well, people like dream rides nationwide, worldwide. Why? I guess it's not a bad thing to have a place where these people can support you.
No, it's
and
awesome.
most people, I think most people are going to be like, well, look, I got to order this part. I have no local shops, and I have no local shops that want to do this type of they don't have dealer accounts.
Yep.
Well, Jessup's into this, and I fuck with his bikes, and I like him. I like the kind of social media that he puts out, his persona. So I'll just buy from him.
No, that's what it is. You hit the nail on the head. So for so many years, I was like, I was the same way. Fuck the online guy and all that, and
don't go to Revzilla though. Let's be real.
No, well, so here's where I feel like we've been successful is, and I know like Speed Kings, I know like John with Hardcore.
Yeah.
I know there are other guys who do what I do, and they have their following, and we share customers and this and that, and there's enough room for everybody. Yeah. Like there's a lot of motorcycle riders in this country.
Yeah.
But where I try and differentiate myself from a JP or a Revzilla or something like that is, hey guys, I'm a fucking regular guy. I actually work on bikes. I wrench on them. I ride them. I believe in the product.
Shake my hand at a show, or
like
come to one of ours.
Exactly. Like I'm a fucking real. I'm a real guy. And not only that, but when you call us, you're either talking to Eddie or me.
Yeah.
Like, and we're gonna be an online parts guy for you, and I'm gonna find you. Like, I'm not a web developer. I'm really trying to get our website. Like doing a year, make, model search, that shit's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not fucking easy. We're trying so hard to get there, but we're actually like regular guys. If you like, Eddie's cell phone number's on the fucking website, and like there's a chat box that goes to my cell phone. So like you chat in there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Should have said that.
No, it's hey, you're buying parts, fucking hit me up. Anyways. But I'm gonna get back to you.
What color underwear do you have on right now?
I mean, that's the reason I buy parts from you.
Yeah.
That's the reason I have buy parts from you is because the only thing I heard about John Jessup is he's a solid guy. He stands by whatever he says. If he says he's gonna do something, he'll do it. No gray areas. I heard that from multiple people. So when you had your online store, I'm like, okay. And I don't remember what even the first parts I bought from you. I think it was like, I actually don't remember. I don't remember what it was, but I bought multiple parts from you. A couple bikes. Yeah. You've always been, you stand by your word, and Aaron, this is how it is. Cool, perfect. And it's always worked out that way. And that's why you're still there. And that's why I have no problem supporting an online store like yourself. I mean,
well, thank you.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and also you do have 2 brick and mortar stores. So it's not like your online store is like you in the garage.
So part of the Tennessee thing was going to go 2 ways. So I was really thinking about, oh man, because you look out in the sticks and you can buy a piece of property that's dirt cheap and all that, but you're in the middle of nowhere. I was thinking, I'll buy this house in the middle of nowhere, have a shop, and I was kind of burnt on customers at the time, and I'll just have this shop and I can run my online store and I don't have to talk or do nothing with nobody. And I was like, no, that ain't me. Like, no, I don't know how to let up off the gas. I've been dead broke before. My daughter, it's kind of funny. My daughter, Gwen, we were riding back to California and, I can't think of the name of the song, but there's a song, Biggie Smalls does, like Remember Me When I Was Broke song, basically, and Gwen's like, Dad, do you remember, like, I was little and I remember you having to get the bolt cutters. It was wintertime. And the water was off, and you had to cut the fucking lock off the water main to turn our water back on. I was like, yeah, I remember. And she's like, so she was identifying with that song because of that. And I was like, fuck, yeah, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But, like, I was like, this thing is the scariest fucking thing I've ever done in my life. To get a commercial building, fill it with employees and product and all that. But I told my wife, I was like, we've been broke before. Like, if we fail, if we fall
good at this,
if we fall flat on our face, like I already own cool motorcycles. We now live in a nice home. Like, I think I can make the house payment like wrenching out of the garage at this point. So
that's the good thing about learning how to do this stuff is that as you scale up, you can always scale back. Those skills you learn and those connections you learn, those don't go away. I mean, unless we go into a full apocalypse here,
yeah.
like we're gonna be okay. Like
North Korea, you need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, or China, really.
Whatever.
But yeah, one of those deals, man. Like I said, you can scale up and scale back, and that's the good thing about being smart in this and not biting off more than you can chew and trying to have this big presence when you don't have the skills or the customer base to back it. A lot of things happen in the big wheel bagger world where they would take these investors, dropping $1 million, and they go buy these 18-wheelers and things like that, where it's like, yeah, you can buy that.
Any $1 million investors out there, hit me up.
Yeah, you can buy that and look great and those, and look really flashy on all these rallies.
Yeah, but those guys want to be paid back.
Yeah, maintaining an 18-wheeler to go to shows and maintaining shows without something to sell at them, like you're gonna go broke real quick.
Yep.
Those to set up an 18-wheeler at Ross Myers and Daytona is like a $15,000 to $20,000 investment.
Wow.
To set
I'm
up
not
your
that guy.
To set your trailer up at the bike rally to sell products.
Yeah.
Is roughly a $20,000 investment. So when you're at Black Hills Harley, when you're at Ross Myers and all these places, obviously it's the bigger the spot, the more money. But these big trucks and trailers there, when you see like a PM there,
they're dropping dough.
that costs them a lot of money to be there. You know what I mean? When you see these guys at Black Hills Harley that are setting up on the Clockworks, they're spending a lot of fucking money to be there.
So,
but they have products to back them up, as opposed to like, hey, let me get $1 million investor and then let me go set up a couple helmets over there on the side of the road in this spot to look like I'm really big.
Yeah,
that's failure, and that's what happened with a lot of big wheel bagger dudes.
For me, I don't know that I ever want to booth in Sturgis or Daytona or anything.
No.
For me, I just want to ride motorcycles and fucking have fun. I'll work the rest of the year. We do our events, but typically our events are not money related. They're
passion related.
That's been the key to our events is like when I went to the East Coast FXR Jam, I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of guys who like motorcycles. Nobody's selling nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody's making any money. It's just we're here to have fun. So we did that on the West Coast. And our bike night, it's usually at my shop, but we've had it at other shops. We've moved it around. And really, it's not like we do a lot of sales. I'd be lying.
But it's kind of cool to have like Arlen Ness as a presence there and these other brands that show up.
No, it's great. And it's definitely promoting our brand. There's no doubt about it. 1,000%. But
it's not why you do it, though.
It's not why I do it. I do it because I believe in it. I do it because, if I wasn't at the bike night, or if I wasn't putting on the bike night and somebody else was putting one on, I'd want to go.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're investing in the community, like you said. You guys said earlier. You guys both invest in the community between your campouts and everything else. And like we were talking even last night, like. It's showing up. It's opening the doors. It's saying, yes, hey, how are you? My name is, you are. Let's talk about bikes. Yeah. It's investing in the community that's passion-driven. This industry is passion-driven on my side as a non-builder, non-business owner, non-painter. You know what I mean? Like, it's all passion-driven. I don't do this because I want to spend that much money on my bike. I mean, I do because I love the bike. I want to have the class.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things, man. Like, if I want the scene in Texas to be bigger, then you have to create events that makes it bring people together because it can grow like in its own little ways and these own small little cliques. But until you bring all these cliques together, people don't they don't get outside their bubble at all, and they don't get a chance to meet other people and do other things. And some of the bigger events in Texas have kind of died off, but there's still a lot of really small, strong ones that take place.
I think the future. And, this is just me thinking. I could be dead fucking wrong. But I think the future is more – the younger generation, you know, the hell yeah brother guy who couldn't wait for the big gigantic rallies and all the huge rallies. That's kind of dying off, I think. You know, I think the majors will still stay. You'll always have Sturgis. You'll always have Daytona. But like there's a run called Street Vibrations in Northern California. When I first got into doing bikes, everybody I knew went to Street Vibrations. My shop was just fucking pumping before Street Vibrations. Now, people can give or take it. But we do a bike night. We do something like that. And it's fucking like...
People getting ready for the bike night?
People... No. But
get my bike dipped, pimped out so I can bring it to your parking lot.
Yes. No, that does happen. Absolutely. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is there's the younger generation, I think, our age and a little bit younger.
Yeah.
They're more experience driven.
Yeah.
Okay. They're before the older generation couldn't wait to show you the new parts he put, you know, like show up at Starbucks. Yeah, I'm a fucking badass. Look at my chopper or whatever it is. But if you look at the parts guys are putting on their bikes, is to make them ride better, handle better, perform better, so they can have a better experience on the bike.
Yeah.
Not win bike shows, that kind of thing.
Eventually it's going to come to that though. I mean,
no,
it always
the bike
does.
Bike shows aren't going away. I mean,
the money guys are going to, you know, they're going to transfer over from the big wheel baggers and these other like more visual things, and they're going to come into performance baggers, and if they haven't already done in other areas. I think they tried to do it with FXRs, but the FXR community kind of like click back and like,
well, the FXR is different because that's an antique motorcycle.
Yeah, and
you
like,
can't recreate antique.
Yeah, dudes put $20,000 in it, still fucking won't start, or still leaks oil at the primary or some shit. It's like it's just part of it. Yeah, not yours. Teach them how to do it.
You know what, dude? I am not a mechanic, but I change those gaskets.
Hey, yeah. I've had to do FXR primaries like 4 times in a row.
Yeah,
like I build a bike and I'm like fucking right around the block. I'm like, motherfucker, it's still leaking, and like. Just you keep doing it, and usually I go to Tom. I'm like, "Hey, Tom, can you try this?" And Tom's got the magic. Tom's a way better mechanic than I am. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, like I said, there's a thing. It's weird. It's hard to, you know, when we have a bubble that we live in, and I say bubble, it's a big bubble. It's nationwide. Yeah. It's a lot of different people from a lot of different types of bikes, but we all kind of are in this bubble together. But we both know, like you've said it before, like a lot of the guys that would come to your Stockton location to get bikes worked on, they weren't into the shit we were doing. They just needed an oil change, or they needed the bars to fit in with their other buddies that are doing this thing. They got their own thing going on, you know?
Yeah, and that's cool.
It's all cool.
So that's the thing that like I believe in. Yes, I'm into a certain style of bike, and that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
But if you come into my shop and you want fucking the pointy shit and all that stuff, who am I to tell
the holy and the pointy shit?
Yeah, like, who am I to tell you that that's gay? You like it?
Yeah,
I fucking love it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a true sales guy right there.
You know,
I just hit him with the,
you know,
sure.
No, you know, but
not really into that anymore, man.
It's my job. Like, if I had 40,000 guys lined up to do fucking T-bars and just the shit I like, well, maybe I could be like,
you probably get over it too.
I'm
You'd
cool
be bored with it.
You know, we'd be bored. But
it's a fine line though when you're in a position like yourself, and like I find myself in this position as well a lot. Is that people come at you, in your sense, they're coming at you looking for, you know, work done on their bikes. A lot of times they come at me looking for a direction to go in motorcycles, right?
Oh no, you asked me, I'll tell you.
And so I'm like, well, you know, this isn't really cool to me in my circle anymore. But I don't explain it that. I go, that shit ain't cool anymore. That's just how I say what it is. You know what I mean?
They ain't no shit.
But at the same time, it's like big wheel baggers, right? Not cool to me anymore. But my buddy Big Wheel Cody, he pulls up in a gas station. It's way more cooler to everybody else in the world than my fucking FXR. That's for damn sure.
No, absolutely. So
it's a weird thing to tell someone that that's not cool anymore.
And I think what happens in the motorcycle thing, you know, is I think we turn into motorcycle racists almost. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I think that's so short-sighted, especially because we are in the industry. We make our living off of people riding motorcycles. So that same guy who comes in my shop who wants a set of factory 47 pointy bars or whatever, that guy likes to ride, and he might smash way more miles than I do.
Yeah.
And who am I to say 6 months, a year from now, that he's not going to be back in my shop going, I decided on T-bars, or I want those tall shocks so I can go around the corner faster, or whatever, because we take care of them. Because I'm not going off. Fucking hell yeah, brother! Fuck off! You can do that to a guy one time. He's gonna be like, I ain't coming back to that guy. And who am I to say what's cool? I like what I like.
Yeah.
Fuck, you want a 26-inch wheel? Fucking rock on, bro.
Yeah.
I'll ride with you. I'll drink a beer with you. I don't give a shit.
Well, that's the same thing we are. It's just that it's fun to make talking shit to each other is what males do.
You're right. 100%.
And I do that with him. He does it with me. My friends do it with me. That's what it's about. And sometimes people, I've always had this problem with the word customer, right? Because a lot of people are customers, but they also want to be friends. And when you cross that threshold, I'm going to call you a fag. That's how it's I don't care how much money you write, how many checks you write. We're going to fuck with each other because if I like you. And if you like me, then you got to say it back.
So
you better say it back.
Yeah.
But no, my thing is it's not. It's joking. I'm joking.
No, absolutely.
Because it's the low hanging fruit right now.
Yeah.
But it's also funny when guys Mike FXR Going whatever the fuck when he's making memes about performance baggers or FXRs or Dynas, and it's that shit is still funny too.
No, it is.
It's just
funny.
Mike said it best. He goes, these other scenes just do a shitty job at talking shit back. They do. It's they take it serious and oh, well, fuck these guys. And then it becomes an ape hangers versus T-bar thing. And
so I saw something on Performance Bagger where it's they got all pissed at a guy with the ape hangers. And the ape hanger guy fucking bit. That was the fucked up part.
Well, here's the deal. You're talking to the wrong guy because I don't accept that.
All right, but hold on.
Ape hangers not allowed in performance baggers.
Okay, but what if that guy what if he wants T-bars?
No,
what if he's in that page for inspiration? What if he's in that page because he fucking thinks it's cool as fuck? He might not have it yet.
Yeah.
Right? But he didn't join Performance Baggers.
Well, usually you post your picture of bike because you're proud of it. So he should have kept that picture to himself until he got around. I'm in a different position. I don't have to sell anybody's shit.
No, I get it. But I really believe this. I really fucking believe what I'm saying.
I'm an admin for 5 different Performance Baggers pages on Facebook, and I have no idea why. Right?
Yeah, well.
But I am. So what happens is they get denied posts, not by me, because I don't fucking read any of the shit, and I'm just admins on these pages for some reasons. And they send me, I can show you, I haven't even made it visible that they saw that I read this shit. They send me messages this long on my phone. That's on my phone, so I don't see the whole thing.
So Facebook's a negative space.
Telling me why their ape hangers and stretch bags are performance baggers because of how they rode one time when they were doing this, or because of all this shit.
Right.
I'm like, look, here this is my simple solution to this whole question of what is a performance bagger. You've been in the industry long enough. They did not just start putting cams in baggers. Nope. They did not just start putting suspension on baggers. They did not just start putting
T-bars on baggers.
Well, let me get to that. Hold on.
We're from OG T-bar country.
Exactly. I know. That's what I'm saying. I tell people all the time, I was like, I saw this shit. Scotty was the first dude down there. Hard Knock Cycles, the first dude I ever saw with T-bars on his Road Glide.
Yeah.
Not that he was the first.
No,
the first one I saw.
Yeah, no. It was popular. It's been popular in Northern California for 15 years.
Exactly. So
that I know of.
That, to me, that's where it crosses over, because if you say that a cam and an upgraded brake and maybe better suspension makes your bike a performance bagger, well, they did that on big wheel baggers too.
But let's be real, Jace.
Yeah.
Let's cut to the chase
Okay.
here. I've ridden, so performance means you can fucking ride your bike, right?
That's why it's the worst word. We shouldn't have used it. It should be more of another word. The problem is, yes, it is performance.
Performance looking bikes is what you want to say? So I'm gonna play the devil's advocate.
I like this.
Because I'm not trying to pick a fight with you. But here's the deal.
What's the difference between an FXR and a Pro Street FXR? Same
thing,
drivetrain, same dimensions.
But no, not
Right?
the same dimensions.
Well, a little bit of rake, right?
But here's the deal. All right. If some guy on a fucking raked out bagger, or here, we'll use this as a prime example. Hold on, we'll use this as a prime example. We brought up Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
Northern California is where the performance bagger started. I'll fight you.
I agree.
Okay. So
Fight you.
but
Made popular by way of the mid country.
No, I'm not. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But what I'm telling you is, we've been doing performance baggers. And I'm not just talking T-bars. The black bike clubs, you want to talk about performance.
Yeah, if they rock ape hangers though.
So what? Okay. And how many times we talked about this earlier?
Yeah.
You know, I think performance is, you can ride that motherfucker.
True.
You can have all-in suspension and lifted and carbon fiber this and that. And if some fucking guy goes around you on a stock bike with fucking ape hangers,
So I need you to look at
are
this.
you a bitch?
I need you to look at this.
Because I've been the bitch.
Yeah, I have.
I
been
know.
too.
I've been the bitch.
You have to look at this in all the different scenes that are motorcycles, right? So you think the FXR alone, right? There's so many different styles of FXR.
Yeah.
Right? So would you see ape hangers on a Pro Street FXR? Not really the look.
Probably not. But here's the thing.
And if there was, that would probably put you in a different style, a category of that style. Could you say that your OG 83 RT, is that a Pro Street because you want to identify as a Pro Street? Because
No.
he can ride it just as hard as any other bike. So the difference is the styling takes you in different directions. Otherwise, every bike that's been being built for the last 20 years, bagger-wise, is a performance bagger. Everything. So why the fuck are we even, why is it even new? Is performance going to stay? It's been here then. It's been here. We've just haven't looked at it.
It's just getting popular.
It's been here.
It has been here.
But these bikes, all the rare breeds and the East Bay Dragons, those things undoubtedly fast as fuck, ripping wheelies for a big Manny out there fucking the Bay Area. Been doing wheelies, not quite real wheelies. He does power wheelies. He doesn't fucking get it to the balance point. Let's be real. But he is an OG on the baggers doing the wheelie thing. But to say that those bikes are the style of performance baggers that we're talking about now that's famous,
I think you're right. I think it's just bad marketing.
It's bad marketing.
So that's the problem is, and I can't think of better marketing, to be quite honest. I'm sitting here.
It's because it became a style through social media instead of a style through showing up to a bike event. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
And then there's Facebook chat rooms where everybody can join and say that my bike is this because I did this one time.
But the hard part about Facebook is it's so easy to get negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's an oxymoron from my part too. You said it, but you said it just now. Performance looking bikes. It sounds stupid as fuck to say.
It does.
But
here's
in the grand scheme of it,
so
you look at all bikes.
So hold on, let me ask you something. All right. What's the purpose of these Facebook groups and all this, right? To be around like-minded individuals, to see other stuff that people are doing. All right. So you're an admin on this page, and if you're somebody else's admin, just listen to me here.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's in all of our best interest to watch this grow, I think, because we like it.
That's why I don't say anything.
Okay.
I just do it's here.
So it's in all of our best interest to watch this grow financially, and not only financially, but because we think it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that guy joining your performance bagger page that gets fucking denied because he has ape hangers on his bike.
He can join the page. You just can't post a picture of his bullshit.
So I don't know all the rules. I'm sorry. But
I'm being over the top right now.
But all I'm getting at is, fuck, man. Let him post a picture.
We are
because
doing that, yeah.
Because guess what's going to happen? He's going to post a picture, right? Fucking find something to compliment him on the fucking bike. And guess what? I guarantee you, if he's staring at those fucking pictures, he's going to want all the shit that's on your bike. And next thing you know, his bike's going to look just like yours just because that's the way it works. So
that's what happens when these guys come to our camp out, is they hang out with us.
Right.
And we're not – when you're on Facebook and you're putting this out there, you're just asking for opinions. And when you are asking for opinions by posting a picture on a Facebook group chat, you're going to get them all.
No, you're
going to get them all.
I get it, but that's why
know?
Facebook sucks anymore because
Exactly.
everybody's got a fucking opinion. So in my opinion, right?
I
like how I did that.
FXR page,
So,
like I had to say this real quick. A dude on the FXR page, whenever you bought the Krusty Glide,
I won the Krusty Glide. I didn't buy it.
oh, when you won, I can't say that. That's probably,
Yeah.
probably ruined. No, you won it. Sorry, my bad. When it got posted on a deal because someone was mad that you found a buyer for it after you won it, and some dude was on there going, patina paint, that just looks like old paint. I'm like, that's what patina paint is.
Yeah, patina is
Say
old.
that to all the people doing this on hot rods.
Yeah, they're
I'm
just
like, what the fuck are you saying?
But that's the
One
fucked up-
time I commented,
But that's the
backfired.
fucked up part. That's the fucked up part about Facebook is everybody has a comment. So my personal philosophy is, you know what? Post your pictures. Do whatever. If I don't like it, I keep
wonder
my
if
mouth
I'm an
fucking
admin,
shut.
I wonder if, as an admin, I can post things and turn off the comments. So
I
they
think
just have
you
to
can.
listen. They just got to read it and like make a new post.
But here's the
to talk
thing.
shit about it.
So if you're in the performance bagger world, be a fucking ambassador because you like it, not because you're cool. So those are two different things.
Yeah.
If you're in it because you think it's cool and you want to fucking be a cool guy and talk shit to the guy with ape hangers, hey, whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
that part I don't like.
Maybe
but
it's
I do
just
it, yeah.
maybe it's just because you don't have fucking much security, whatever. You have a bike because it's your identity, whatever. Which we see a lot with motorcycles. People buy them because they need to know who they are, and that gives them an idea of who they are. Or you're the opposite. You're a guy who puts T-bars on his bike and tall shocks because you like to go around corners, and you think it's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then who gives a fuck what that guy has on his bike? Come on,
that's
bro.
the way
Let's
we
go
are, though.
ride.
That's the way we are when we go do things, right?
Be
But
that way online too.
no, well, we want. I
Cause
am. But I will say,
I'm telling you,
I only-
everybody. I'm telling you, everybody.
I only draw the line when it comes to like trying to and it's not. I don't care what anybody rides. I really don't. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give this performance bagger thing some of its own identity.
It has it.
What it does, but I think that the lines are blurred because people assume everything's a performance
Yeah,
bagger.
but the problem is you're giving a voice to people who have no voice.
Yeah, but
Okay, so here's the thing. A guy with fucking ape hangers joins performance bagger. He posts a picture of his bagger. Do you think that picture is going to convince all these other people that that's what it is? No, it's not going to happen. If anything, him posting a picture of his bike, it's going to go the other way. He's going to decide on his own that he likes this other shit. But the minute people are like, yeah, you fucking faggot because you got ape hangers and all that, is he ever going to want performance? No, you're pushing that guy out. You know,
yeah,
instead
and so
of
what it is tribalism is what is taking place. Is that a lot of people get in
it's
it.
stupid.
And I know that I feed into that, even though I'm not the one that comments on that shit. I don't get on there and say it, but I do say that I say it on my social, my Instagram, my podcast, but I'm not trying to shit on anybody because some of my best friends rode our campouts with ape hangers and they end up finding we didn't talk shit to him. Dude, Big Will Cody came to our campout with a fucking Big Will bagger, a 30-inch.
listen.
He rode. He's one of my best friends. The point is, I just want people to come out here. But when it comes to performance baggers, I'm just trying to be an ambassador for the sport to identify some things.
But I don't think that has to happen.
But if it doesn't, then everything's a performance bagger.
No, it's not though. But you don't. It's already out there.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
It's a thing that I'm not going to win. That's why I've been less vocal about it.
So-
But I just
But
think that
the thing is, it has to evolve naturally. And it will. It absolutely it has, and it will continue to.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not
most
going to.
most people put they put T-bars on their bike because they do something different for the way your bike rides.
Absolutely.
And that's why I look at T-bars or moto style bars as one of the deciding factors as to going to a performance bagger route, because that's a distinctive thing that you decide to buy that because you want this kind of control and feel. And it's a very, very new thing to the rest of the country, not Stockton, for a bagger.
But here's the thing. The industry dictates the direction everything goes, right?
But we are the industry.
We are. But listen, hold on. The industry as a whole, all right? And if the industry identifies, which it has, what a performance bagger is, guess what? Yeah, it takes some time for that guy in Kentucky or wherever the hell to get on board because he's looking at it as the definition, not a style.
Yeah.
But if online we're shitting on people and being negative, it's self-defeating. It's not going to help.
I agree with you 100%. But at the same time, I think that's where the difference between a magazine 5 years ago and social media today is. 5 years ago, you could look at a breakdown of a bike, see all the parts on it. You know, they'd have the builder, how long it took them to build it, what parts, what shocks, suspension, everything they had on the bikes. Now they don't have that. All you see is a bike on there, a picture, and this is my performance bagger,
So
whatever it is. You don't have that description, so they don't the identifiable parts that make a performance bagger what it is.
When it comes to the Facebook page, this is what's happening 100%, right? It's because one of the first Facebook pages that got real big for performance baggers was being ran by this dude that didn't have anything that was performance oriented, and he didn't seem to have any inclination that he wanted to put his bike in that direction. But he found this headline and created a page, and it blew up because he was one of the first dudes that started Performance Bagger page, right? Now, moving forward, what happens is, and I'm not agreeing with this to say it's right, but what happens is someone will post a picture of their bike, and because they don't really know what the distinction is between the performance bagger scene that we have now, not performance baggers of all time, it's the scene. So they make a very, they're not like, hey, I just got into this, I like this style of bike, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking to hopefully turn this bike into something more. It's not like, it's more like, hey, I got these apes, I got this, I got fucking get back whips. They have a bagger that's been a bagger for the last 30 years in every Kuryakin riding dude out there, right? And they're like, this is my performance bagger now. So it's like they're identifying.
So who gives a shit?
Exactly. Who gives a shit? But what happens is everybody that is on these chat rooms that did invest into this style are like, no.
So I guarantee you, if just nobody commented, okay, we just go away.
That's like saying.
I know. Hey, listen. I know. I know that this is
Instagram booty models wouldn't exist if just guys would stop fucking following them.
You're right. So I know I'm naive, and I know it's not going to happen. I'm just telling you how I do business and how my thoughts on it. And if
it doesn't benefit me to go in there and talk shit.
No, because guess what? I like it because I like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it because I need to fucking talk shit to nobody. I don't like it because fucking it is who I am. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe I'll be into fucking choppers in 3 years, and that's cool too.
Yeah. That's what's fun about this stuff is that it is just that. You know what I mean? Like Dusty's like when Mike was on here a couple weeks ago. Like he said it best. Like him and Dusty have been going in these different bike routes for the last almost 10 years now, or something like that, right? Yeah. From the KZs,
KZ 1000s, dirt bikes for me. I got a KDX 220.
Yeah.
You know, I got a freaking Gold Wing. I got an 83 RT. I mean, I like everything two wheels. I have never pigeonholed myself into one type of bike.
So I just think, in my opinion, love your bike for what it is.
Yeah.
And who gives a fuck about what the other guy does? It doesn't matter. Because guess what? The performance bagger style that we all like, you know, is on the upswing. More people are going to be doing it. And the only thing that let's not be fucking douchebags about it though. Like, because guess what? I can tell you for certain, and you just told me this, a guy who went to your camp out, those guys are motorcycle guys.
Yeah.
They love motorcycles the same way we love motorcycles. It's okay to have a different style. And guess what? You're around something more, you see it more, next thing you know, you start liking it. Every time they come out with a new body style on a car, that shit's fucking ugly.
Yeah.
You see it for 2 or 3 years, you're like, I kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's just how it works. You know? Yeah, no Aztecs. But fucking
I'm on the same page with you.
I'm just saying, be a fucking man.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to tell everybody how badass you are. they fucking know. If you have the baddest shit, you don't even have to fucking tell them.
Yeah.
It's self-evident. Like, you know,
I just stay
you
off
can
Facebook.
look at. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't. Very rarely, I look at Facebook.
Even when I see someone ask a question that I have the exact answer, I still like, I'm not even getting involved.
No, because so the horrible part about, and I ran in this with the FXR pages, you know, used to be very, very active on that. But if someone asks me a question, and this is my profession, this is what I do, and I absolutely 100% know the answer, and I give them the answer, and then I have some Yahoo who's in Nebraska or wherever the hell, you know, and all he does is sit on his computer all winter long, and he's got to fucking fight with me over it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't have time or the energy for that. So you're right. I just kind of stay off Facebook. You know, I'm there because I like posting pictures of my family, and I use it for marketing and all that
I hope
kind of
that
thing.
a lot, you know, because I did actually post the camp out little flyer we made for our camp out, and I hope that a lot of these guys that want to, like, they really do like the performance bagger, just the performance motorcycle in general, come, because where our camp out is, we have some of the best riding in America.
So,
you live close to some of that stuff, right? Don't you live up on the border of Oklahoma?
Yeah, I'm like 7 miles south of the Red River there.
Yeah, so it's like, it's some of the best riding around here.
So let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for everybody who believes in what you do, right? Which is a lot of people, right?
I think, maybe.
No, I think it is.
Yeah.
I know it is. It's a lot of people. Like that guy with the factory 47s or whatever posting a picture of his bike because he's proud of it. Let him be fucking proud and invite him to the camp out. And guess what's going to happen? We all already fucking know what's going to happen. He's going to change his mind. But if he posts a picture, hey, check out my bike, and everybody's on there is going, oh, you fucking idiot, you know, blah, 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 you know, like everybody does.
Yeah.
Is he going to go to your camp out? Fuck no. You guys are a bunch of assholes, whatever. Like, all I'm getting at is, like, be more secure in yourself. That's all. Like, you know, and I hope I'm not fucking getting death wishes right now, and I might be, but, like,
no, you're good.
It's coming from a good place because I really believe I love motorcycles. I fucking love them. And the performance bagger thing is awesome because you're taking a bike that's been on the road forever. There's a lot of them on there.
Yeah.
The cost of entry is low. I mean, I sell nice bikes for $8,000 all day long that you can jump in and go cross country on.
Yeah.
You know, you throw some parts on there. Some guys can afford to do it all at once. Some guys do it one piece at a time.
Yeah.
Either way. So we have a trend that has legs because it's not style driven. It's function driven. Mm-hmm. You know, so a performance bagger is something that you jump on and you ride and you enjoy, and it actually makes the bike better as opposed to a big wheel bagger made it ride worse. A fat tire chopper made it ride worse.
Yeah.
There have been so many trends in the motorcycle industry that were aesthetically pleasing, but they weren't function based. They were aesthetic based.
Yeah.
You know, so we actually have a style and a trend that's
Functional.
Function.
And form and function, basically.
form and function, like the FXR.
Yeah.
What trend has never gone away? Right? The FXR. Yeah, there's waves, more people, some, you know, it rode a wave. Maybe we're on the backside of that right now. I don't know. But there are going to be guys who are in FXRs for the next forever.
Yeah.
You know? And same thing with these bikes, these performance baggers. We're on the beginning of a precipice where more and more people are going to see it. Mm-hmm. More and more people are going to like it. The cost of entry is low enough that a 25-year-old kid can probably afford a $6,000 or $8,000 bike payment, a couple $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so fucking embrace people. Like
That's
doesn't.
what we do, but like I said, Facebook is a different animal.
No,
and
I know,
can't,
but
you know,
I'm talking to everybody on Facebook right now.
They
Like,
don't listen to this podcast.
I know.
for sure.
Well, they might. The ones that do, like, just know I'm saying this from a good place. Like, fuck, you know, I've watched the FXR pages. Like, FXR's of California and then the FXR Alpha page.
Yeah.
Man, some of my best friends in the world are from that. I just hired 2 employees that I met through those pages.
Yeah.
Right? And back in the day, you post a picture of a bike, you'd have 50 comments, 200 likes. People were fucking, hey, that's badass.
Yeah.
Now I can post a picture. Anybody can post a picture of the baddest shit. 3 likes, no comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
so
not really into FXRs. You fucking, you know.
no,
you
no, it's
got
just
money.
it's the negative space.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
And that's what's going to happen in the performance bagger. Mark my words.
So that's what's good about like Instagram when it comes to performance baggers, because you have these pages that kind of,
You're right.
they kind
Instagram
of
is better.
regulate, like when they repost these bikes that do kind of fit the bill. And so it keeps, like, people aren't talking shit about those bikes because it's like, oh, that dude still has 8 hangers or whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier. But on Facebook, you're just, anytime you put something on Facebook,
Everybody's
you're
got
basically
an
putting
opinion.
it there to go and, you know, roast me is basically what you're saying to everybody. So that's why I don't go on there.
But that's why it's a dying forum.
Exactly.
You know.
I got to get some more beer, pee, and we need to start talking about the BRL.
All right, cool.
All right.
Take a break.
No, we just gotta. Y'all gotta fill the void for a minute.
Oh, okay. All right.
Look into each other's eyes.
All right. So, Dusty, tell me about your 83 RT. Because my 83 RT is out there in the trailer. It's going to be parked next to your 83 RT.
Your 83 RTs aren't there?
Yeah, but it's apart.
So is mine.
That's a sore
subject. They're going to look real similar together because they're both kind of apart. Mine's actually still on the trailer because I've got 4 staggered wheel chocks bolted down to the trailer, and I might need a little.
Okay, we'll help you.
Getting it off
We'll help you.
I didn't want to try to do
Hope
it
your
in the dark.
family's not sitting there at home waiting for you going, oh, what the hell, man?
My wife has no idea that I was coming in here. I had no idea that I was going to come in here, so.
You need
Here
to
we
text
are.
her or anything?
I have no phone service whatsoever.
Yeah,
in here.
yeah.
That's
This is I
federal
think
building.
Jay's put like one of those things in here so phones don't go off.
Blocks your service.
Yeah, I don't know because it's definitely a dead zone.
Definitely a dead zone. You might have, if you get a text your wife, you have to walk outside. Probably.
Yeah.
You know that text her back.
Anyway,
It's, yeah, I can get, like, I see Mike Pantazzi sent something to the group, but I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Mike, if you're out there, I'm sorry, buddy. I don't have any service right now. And he's been trying to get me to podcast for a while, so I'm sure he thinks this is hilarious.
yeah,
Because I'm always like, no, I don't have a podcast voice.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So I'm super excited you're going to come to work. Like we're putting together the All-Star crew, or the second. I've got an All-Star crew in California, but I already know that they're an All-Star crew. Like.
Right.
But what's so exciting about Tennessee is everybody who's coming to work there, it seems to be super humble. You know, Paul's a master tech, Jesse's an expert level tech. You know, but everybody is so excited to learn from each other.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be so exciting to see how that process works, and you know, hopefully we get enough business to sustain it and thrive, which I think we will.
Yeah, I think so. As long as the economy's good, you know.
Well,
I think motorcycles they're not a necessity for most folks. So
no, they're not. But
when it gets bad, that's the first thing that they sell, or they quit putting money into.
Good,
or
because
whatever.
then we can buy them cheap and then resell
yeah,
them.
no shit. Put your cash together.
But no, the Bagger Racing League.
Yes.
And you signed the contract.
Yes, I did. So here's the reason I signed the contract. Yeah. So I cut my teeth doing baggers. Yeah. Like, you know, you could throw now they're called skinny tire baggers or skinny wheel baggers, whatever. So you can throw literally every fucking nut and bolt on the ground, and I know exactly where it goes. You know, that's just what we grew up doing. Yeah. But it's been a long time since I had a bagger. Mm-hmm. And, you know, being in this business, it's in my best interest to do a little bit of everything. So for a long time, I was only doing FXRs, and that's cool. I love FXRs. That's where that's really, I love FXRs, but I did that I rode a Softail. I fell in love with those. Those are awesome bikes. I did that Lowrider S. Next thing you know, I've got a bunch of Softail customers. People are like, oh, you do Softails? So, yeah, I know how to work on all this shit. Yeah. You know, like, but people don't associate that. They don't understand that or whatever because they don't see it. So you're not the guy to go to until you do one. So I was like, you know, I probably need to do a bagger, to show my skills that I can do one, first of all. And then the Bagger Racing League, what's more fun than fucking racing a bagger?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to try and get my license in time so that I can race it in Utah.
Yeah.
I'm not really into hiring other guys to do it. It's like I'm not going to hire a heavy hitter to lay my wife either. I can do it shitty, myself. It's no fun if I'm not doing it type thing.
You cuck.
Yeah. No. I can do that shitty.
That's a good analogy, right? For all those guys hiring.
So for me,
cuckold baggers.
So for me, like, if I get out there on the racetrack and I finish dead last, which is probable.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with that because guess what? I get to have fun.
Yeah.
I get to do it. And the goal for me is to show other people that they can do that too.
One good thing about doing that is you're going to find out so much about your riding ability and your bike, and the amount of feedback you're going to be able to give to your customers about like why to stay away from this or do that. Like, it's invaluable.
No, you're right.
It really is.
And for me, I just want to have fun. And I've kind of wrestled with this a little bit, so we all have our own insecurities or whatever. And the last thing I want to do is I don't want to be looked at as, oh, here comes this motherfucker. He's going to, jump on the coattails of this new trend and this and that. Because that,
it'd be different if the trend was like far left field. But this trend is not far off of what FXRs are.
No, it's not.
What,
I mean,
an
FXR and a bagger are so
pretty damn.
How I got into FXR, so I was doing baggers. I'd done a ton of baggers. I had to sell my bagger because I needed to keep my shop open and I had no money. Well, old guy sold me an FXR on payments and I started taking it apart. I was like, holy shit, this is a bagger.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing. It's just a different neck. It's the same drive. I mean, a lot of the parts are interchangeable, as we all know by now. But like for me, I just didn't want to feel like I was faking the funk. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to feel like, because every time there's some new trend, you have those cock riders or whatever, like looking at, I got to get in this for the money. No, I'm doing it because I like it and I want to do it.
That's the good thing about social media, though, is because I think people can tell when people are genuinely into that style of bike or it's a natural progression. You know what I mean? Yeah. As opposed to like one day you're doing this and you're like, trust me, these big wheel bagger dudes for the last couple of years have been like, fuck performance bikes and Dynas and FXRs.
No, but they're going to come around.
And they have to if they want to survive.
Look at John Shope's side covers. Like,
Yeah, okay.
Dude, I think they're fucking cool. No, like, whatever. You know what, like, that guy's gonna tell you, fuck you, I've been performance before you were born, and he's probably right. Whatever. Yeah. But he wasn't known for that style of bike. Right? He's trying.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a business. He's got employees to feed, So part of it may be that. But part of it may be like he actually started liking it. Those side covers are fucking cool. Did you see them? No? You're smiling at me.
I know that. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's cooling my brake. Okay, buddy.
Yeah, well, that may be that's some MJK type shit. Yeah, but whatever.
It's cool. I've said this since day one. I wholeheartedly embrace anybody coming into this that's going to bring parts and creativity to it. That way we can diversify these bikes a little bit more.
I'm not even a bike builder. Like, I'm a bike assembler.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't weld. Like, I know the parts catalog really fucking well. Yeah. And I kind of know some color layouts, and I have my own style, the way I like to do things.
Assemble the bikes, yeah.
But I don't even consider myself a bike quote unquote builder, but whatever.
That's also why like guys like you and myself as well, like we probably don't look at like, man, I want to make these parts. Like I don't look at parts. Like I'd
love to, but I just don't know how, and I don't have the resources.
And like you're gambling so heavy.
No, it's things. I'm not gonna invent some revolutionary foot peg.
Hear me out.
It's
moto bars.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but 15-inch risers.
Yeah. I've got my own riser. that's going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
But no, I don't. I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit.
You full? I was like, oh shit. What's he gonna do?
But let me tell you this: the guys who do develop parts, who are good at developing parts, because they've been developing parts for many, many years, come up with something cool.
Well,
I was at Ness. On Monday. Okay, and he's got a new fucking riser coming out for the road glides, or I guess any bagger with the gauges, and it's got the gauge pod. But it's all integrated, so the wiring goes through the risers, and it's clean as fuck.
It's so nice.
You know what? I don't have the 3D printers. I don't have the 20 plus years of experience or any of that to do that. So I'm gonna do what I know how to do. I know how to sell shit. I think I'm a decent salesman. I think I'm a good ambassador for building the motorcycle community. I'm gonna continue to do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assemble the fuck out of some bikes. You know,
I'm with you on that.
You know, and if nobody likes it, I don't fucking care. Yeah. I'm gonna ride it and I'm gonna enjoy it. And if I like it, I'm gonna leave my kids. They'll have like 15 fucking bikes they got to deal with. You know, and that's it.
That's not a bad thing to.
Yeah.
Hopefully they know what they're worth instead of like just pass them off. Getting FXR deals like barn finds.
Gwen's like, when you die, I'm getting this one and this one. I'm like, I'm not dying for a long time, fool.
But yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, the John Oaks came onto the. Have you done the Clubhouse thing yet?
I don't even know what the Clubhouse is.
So the Clubhouse app thing, it's iPhone users only. So if you don't have an iPhone, you can't
grow
get
up.
one. Yeah, grow up, seriously. Well, the main thing is because they don't have the what's the thing? They don't have the structure behind it yet to manage like so much. So by going only iPhones, they let the majority of people in, I think. But the majority of
you're gonna have to show me after this because I'm
there's a chat going on right now that started at 8:00. That's something. I think they're talking about the what's the one they just dropped this week? The Pan America. We've been talking about it for so fucking long. I'm like, finally they dropped it. Like me and Mike did a podcast about this 2.5 years ago. Right. But it's a good app, but there's nothing archivable, right? So there's no footprint you put on there. It's almost like an interactive podcast is what it feels like. And so I think it has potential, but man, it's fucking time consuming. You thought fucking being on Instagram was time consuming? Last Wednesday, I was on there for fucking 6 hours. And I got fucked up drinking, and I'm talking shit to everybody in America on like fucking this. But it's got potential to be a very useful app. But you can't just check it out when you want to. You have to show up for the live because it's not recorded. You're listening to professionals in that field converse about that subject.
Oh wow!
And it's got potential, man. Like I said, it really does.
I'm excited.
You have to make time. So it's like if it's Wednesday at 8:00 Central or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, then you got to be there. And if not, then it's fucking you missed it. It's gone. There's like you can follow me on there, but all you're following is me to know if I get on some kind of thing.
Wow.
So it's different and different. At first, the first one I did, which we did a couple weeks ago, was like 5 people listening. It was kind of like. I still had fun because we're still talking just like we are now. But then the last week there was 50-something people listening to it.
Oh wow!
And then
so
we're somewhat like myself and the dude Jordan. He does Live Fast Marketing. He was the guy that started. He reached out to me and go, "We need to create a motorcycle presence on this app because there is none." And honestly, I give it to him. He created it. He started the room that goes on every Wednesday. And I know Lexin's been on there. And then last week we had John Oaks. And dude, we're in a room last week. John Oaks, fucking Brian from Clockworks, Paul Yaffe, Big Bear.
Wow.
Myself. Just a fucking room full of
John from Hardcore Cycle.
Yeah.
There was
Race Glide, Steve Chamberlain, like a lot of the guys in the performance. Like it was a room full of people.
Midwestern Grinder.
Yeah, that dude. But it was a crazy. Like when would you ever? I mean,
no, that sounds exciting.
It has potential, man. It really.
As long as it doesn't turn into
my podcast.
As long as it doesn't turn into a shit show like Facebook.
Yeah, but the good thing is there's nothing archivable. You don't put something out
there. No. So, absolutely, So as long as it doesn't turn into a bunch of fucking keyboard warriors who like, you know.
Thing is that like you can like unless you're a part of the actual conversation, you're just there listening.
Oh, really?
You're muted the whole time. Like I was driving back from Texas, going back to Nebraska, and I was muted the whole time until I had questions that come up, and then I raise my hand because I'm not one of the main admin people.
That's
like,
pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm not one of the main admin people. Like I think
if I
proper
did,
baggers was there, and stuff like that. They were like the admin
proper
people.
baggers. I forgot
they were all there, like the admin. So like if I had a question, I would raise my hand and I would say something to address it to whoever I wanted to because you could see who was on there. That was the best part. Is like people aren't just talking over each other.
Yeah,
like
that's
literally,
nice.
you have to raise your hand. Like, hey, can I say a comment? That's it. And then
That's cool.
So John came on there and I'll be honest with you, I was kind of tough on him. I feel like I was asking him hard questions. Like, you know, one of the things that was kind of not really illuminated very well was the fact that like guys like yourself signed up to be on this Bagger Racing League. And trust me, a lot of shops across the country are thinking about it. And then you find out, oh, I can't race a bagger in the class. And I got to have a license, or I got to find someone who has a license. And it becomes a new deal. And then there's a short window of time to get it done unless you live in the better climate areas like California where you can go hit a track two or three times to get the license prior to the first race. So there was a lot of things that you said that they're going to be releasing at Daytona, so we can keep that on the wraps.
Well, here's the thing I can tell you. Okay? These people who are putting this on are doing it because they believe in it too.
Yeah.
Okay? And I can tell you that it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a shit show, okay? But whatever out of the gate is, you know what I mean. So I think we can be happy that all of a sudden the big players, the drag specialties, the big players in the industry are interested. That's a good thing for us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, it's a good thing. Now it takes a little bit of, you know. When anything is just a small grassroots thing, you have this ownership of it and this and that, and then some big players show up and steal that ownership, and it's a kick in the nuts a little bit. But I'll use the Shark Tank example, right? Let's look at the Shark Tank example. You might own 100% of a $1 million business, right? Mm-hmm. Would you rather have 100% of a $1 million business or 25% of a $100 million business? I'd rather have 25% of a $100 million business. Okay. Well, we don't have the resources that Drag Specialties has, you know, or, you know, all this stuff to blow this thing up.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if we're all pushing the same direction, us grassroots guys saying, hey, look, let's go support this. Let's give our input on how to make it better. Because
if they listen.
No, well, I'll tell you. Now, granted, sometimes if you're getting
I'm a bully though. Yeah.
No, I know, but if you get 50 people hitting you up, it's easy for some to fall through the cracks. But I had a 45-minute conversation with Rob. I'm gonna pronounce his last name wrong. Bydros or whatever. He's one of the guys putting it on. All right. And I called him up with, hey, look, you know, because I mean I know him, but we're not like old high school friends or something. I'm not gonna call him up and talk shit. You know,
that'd be dope.
Well, I just don't know him that well, you know. But I was like, hey, Rob, I'm hearing some shit on the street that's kind of some backlash on this Bagger Racing League thing. Like, I want you to know about it because I believe in it and I want it to succeed because I want to get out there on a bagger and race and have a good time and I know 1,000 other people do too. Not even necessarily race; they just want to get their bagger on a racetrack. Yeah. I think 98% of the people could give two shits about actually competing. Yeah, they just want to see how they do and do better next time.
Exactly.
You know, so,
sure.
But I really didn't know what to expect. I was like, is this guy going to be like, dude, fuck, man, like, you know how much time and energy I put in this shit? And now you're like calling me to critique it, like, and you've put like 30 minutes of thought in here, you know? Well, it was quite the opposite. He was like, dude, thank you. I really need, you know, that's the only way these people are going to hear it is if they don't give you any attention, Jace, but 500 fucking people are going, hey, listen, we really like this. We're not here to say, hey, fuck that shit. They didn't do it my way, so fuck it.
Yeah,
you know?
so that's one of the differences. Though, is it's not that I think that a lot of us like it's weird when you say like the OG performance bagger guys because
But you are.
like I said, when I was having
I remember talking shit on you, like doing the. I put a picture of a Honda Civic with a really tall wing, and then the performance bagger with the big old gigantic canisters at the back.
Yeah, I remember
which
that.
I still don't like, but whatever.
But you know, like I talked with me and Brian. TPJ had a Instagram conversation, but you know he was kind of filling me on some of the things that were taking place before I started coming up to the Bay Area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before even which was 2014. So before that, I didn't really know what was going on.
It's way before that.
So yeah, so I get it. I just know that
But you guys
this
are
is the first thing that I've been around for not the beginning, like
no. But you've been around since the beginning of
So,
the
it's kinda like-
popularization of it.
in a sense, me and a lot of us, Aaron as well, we're kind of the grass. But realistically, what you guys were doing there, you're the fucking roots.
But that's fine. But
You know?
but we got to give credit where credit's due. Like
Agreed.
It might have been popular.
Danny G, he built one of the, San Diego Customs. They built
Yeah.
that bike for him, or I think San Diego built it. Danny G was one of the first ones that had a full out
Yeah,
on the cover of magazines performance bagger.
absolutely. And
know?
there's I don't give a shit. There's always somebody who did it first. Whatever.
But what I'm trying to what I
But here's the thing: you are part of an ambassador of this style of motorcycle. It doesn't matter who was first or whatever.
doesn't, yeah.
You were around for the beginning of the popularization of this style. Now, people want to fight over that. It's not
It's not
time and effort.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like with the Bagger Racing League or any of this stuff that's going to be coming down in the industry, if people like it, whether they like all of it or not, they should try and support it. And
that's what I'm trying to do though. So my thing is I am trying to support it and I do want it to succeed because I tell you what, when the Moto America thing happened and we fucking
dude, it was
we
exciting.
live streamed it in this room. I live streamed it while we paid for it. We were fucking geeking on this shit.
Yes.
So I am all about it. But all I'm saying is there are a lot of resources out there through guys like myself and other people that are a part of this air quotes performance bagger thing that if they need help understanding the grassroots, there's easy channels to figure that out. So when you look at this thing, like the questions I was asking on that Clubhouse chat was basically questions like, it's kind of, I'm being critical now. I'm not talking shit. I'm just being critical.
No, that's all right.
And I'm just putting this out there because a lot of people didn't get to hear that chat that we had. What a stunt rider who has generalizing, so sorry guys, a lot of stunt riders came to baggers because it became the next step in stunt riding to get attention because sport bikes, they fucking were doing backflips on these damn things on the street. So it's like, we got to make it harder. They go to Harleys, Dynas, shit like that. And then the bagger was like the new WoW thing, right? So a lot of dudes end up going to baggers. But it's kind of unfair feeling that there are all these dudes out here are known for ripping it hard on baggers in all over the country who don't get the same kind of opportunity to go ride this track, but because a dude does a wheelie on it, he gets a fucking free pass.
That's how it's not fair.
It's not
So
fair.
who told you life was fair? It's not fucking fair. Okay.
So have I told you the Facebook chat room about the fucking thing?
Yeah, right. It's not fair.
Yeah.
So but what I'm getting at here is like people with more exposure, like pro athletes walk in a restaurant and they don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Fuck, a broke motherfucker doesn't get a hamburger. But that's just how it works.
So you said something earlier though, like here's the deal: grassroots is the thing that creates mainstream.
You're right. No.
And so when
absolutely.
grassroots helps perpetuate the growth of something to be big enough, perceptually big enough to where big players like Drag Specialties wants to come in and capitalize, not in a bad way, but take
this is
it
a
to
business.
the next level because we're grassroots. We're going to do this, but then Drag Specialties has the ability to do what they're doing, which, like I said, I'm supportive. But at the same time, like, we live in too much of a world where everything is visible. We live in a very translucent industry where everybody knows who the fuck is who and things. It doesn't take long to like search through 3 or 4 different repost pages and find out who the fuck is who and what. One marketing guy for one brand knows all this shit, right? They do. They
I
have
hope.
to.
I hope.
If they don't, then they're the ones they're clicking those emails saying I can make your website better.
Yeah.
And those are the guys working for them. But they can find out. You can easily, in a shit break at work, figure out who's who in the FXR world. Who's respected, who's kind of laughed at, who does cool shit, who's known for building beautiful bikes, who's known for riding hard. You can find these out very simply and easily.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Caring is where I'm asking. They don't care.
Well, I think they do. Okay, I think they do care, but they're trying to make some hard decisions. Okay, and hard decisions sometimes aren't popular. All right, stunt riders are high profile. They're trying to draw attention to this thing.
Agreed.
Right? There's nothing more high profile than a stunt rider.
Yeah.
They have a stunt rider class.
So
this is for the stunt riders. Let me finish. All right. Now, getting to actually race and be on the racetrack and to compete like they're doing, like this Utah thing. This is a competition. It's not a track day.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two different things.
True.
Okay, this is a competition. To get out there and race, they want you to have the minimum requirement to race.
Which is understandable.
Which is understandable. Yeah. Okay, because I don't necessarily think that I want to be out on the racetrack, okay, with somebody who hasn't gone through a race
school.
school.
With me, dude. I'm fucking.
No.
You ever played a race car game with me, dude? I'm cutting everything.
Yeah.
I'm jumping.
I don't think it works the same way in real life. I'll
Bouncing
find
off the wall.
You'll find out when you. Hopefully, you don't see me scrub on national TV. But, anyways, but what I'm saying is, just because somebody rips and all this shit, I mean, like, if you want to do it, go get the minimum license.
That's what's happening.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to do it, go get the minimum license. They're also in the midst of setting up track days.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're gonna want to do track days around the country and this and that, kind of like they did in
Chuckwalla.
Chuckwalla. Yeah, there we go. You know, where it's more guys like us who are like, okay, I'm gonna put some tape on my headlights. I'm going to fucking throw some leathers on. I'm going to drag my floorboards or whatever it is and have fun and do that. And when that starts to happen and people like, there's organized track days and people actually go, some of those guys are going to say, oh, okay, I might want to actually race. You know?
So let me throw this out there. I'm in a position where I'm trying to say this without sounding too fucking weird, but like, I represent a lot of performance bagger friends,
absolutely,
and people that you know that I know or blah blah blah. But I also represent the motorcycle industry, and I need to be a gap and a bridge between wanting the industry to go, because I know everything that drag is doing and everything that John Oaks and everything that's being taken place here, I wholeheartedly support. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm also speaking for all these other guys that I'm trying to figure out how do I.
So here's how you do it, because I've been trying to figure out the same thing. Okay. And this is what I intend to do. I've been on the road, so I haven't actually had time to like sit down and figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
But drag is going to help me do this. I'm going to organize, like, I'm going to find out, okay, here's where the school is.
Yeah.
Here's how to do it. And I'm going to be like, anybody, here's when I'm going. Anybody else want to go with me?
Yeah.
You know, and see if we can get a group of guys to go down and get a license. And you can do the same thing. There's Texas Motor Speedway here, whatever.
Well, we have people here doing it, which is awesome because
it's already established. Yeah. It's already done. So maybe you say, you know what? I'm going to go get my race license. You want to do it?
I don't.
No, but I understand you don't. But maybe you should. Not necessarily.
No, I want to get on the track and learn it, but at the same time, it's a bandwidth thing for me. Like
I understand. There's only
performance baggers for me is always going to be the fact that we throw shit in our bags and we strap something down and then we smash miles and we hit corners when they come, and that's
and the bike I'm going to build is going to be a bike that is ridden on the street that will be primarily a street bike that I also ride on the track. It's not going to be a track bike. Yeah. You know, only, you know, which there will be those levels, and that's okay. That's all right. Like, but the idea is like, fuck it. You know, I want to do it, so I'm.
Like I said, I'm for it.
I know you are.
Against it, but
I know you are, but that's how you asked how you can bridge that gap. That's how you do it.
Well, I mean, the other thing, and I'll say it, and I don't mean it to sound like a call out, but I've reached out to them, and I've got the cold shoulder. So it's kind of one of those things where, like,
keep reaching out.
I
Keep being a
intend
squeaky
to.
wheel.
I intend to.
And don't take it personal. You know what I mean? It's hard. I get it. I get it.
I don't know how to do that.
But-
But it's weird because, like, you know, you gotta understand, like, you're just now becoming this side of the country, all right? And we don't get a lot of fucking attention and we don't get a lot of anything on this side of the country. We really don't. So when this motorcycle industry is primarily based off of that West Coast and that side of the Rockies, and people have been hearing me say it a lot, but when you live on this side of the Rockies, you have to do so much more. Even if you build a bike that's the best in the world, you're 2 years too late. Therefore, it's not popular anymore. It doesn't go in magazines.
How'd Donnie Smith do it?
Because at that time in the day, when you have guys, like, here's the deal. You have...
I mean, look at Barnstorm. Look at fucking
Agreed.
Boosted Brad.
I
Look
agree.
at, I mean, we can go on and on.
You can.
No, but here's the
But
thing.
these are guys that have also been in the industry for 20-plus years. Boosted Brad was part of the whole Chopper Dogs doing the West Coast things. Donnie Smith, obviously a part of...
Yeah. The
He's
OGs.
part of the cultures, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Perowitz. Barnstorm is a huge brand. And I'll be honest with you, Jeff Holt played a big part in certain shops getting the opportunity back in the late hot bike
There's
days.
gate holders. There's no doubt about it.
So back in that late hot bike before it ended up folding, Jeff Holt was kind of a gatekeeper, and guys like Barnstorm came through. I know Denton Performance, not too far from where you're at. He's one of the guys, but the problem is when you're not a pay to play guy. Not saying they are. That's the wrong word. When you're just a dude out there grinding, and hey, look, this is what I built, but I don't have an ad in your magazine, or I'm sorry, I can't buy ad space on your Instagram thing. You're kind of left alone to figure it out for yourself. If you don't have parts to trade for fucking exposure, like, what do you do?
That's just how it is.
Unless
Like,
you live on the West Coast,
no,
and you just
but-
got to be there. There's
Well-
so many shops that are fucking try not to fucking put my foot in my mouth. There's a lot of shops that do great work and they have done great things, I guess, but at the same time, compared to it's not equal. It's not fair. But like you said earlier, life isn't fair. Blah blah blah. I should move to California if I want to be famous in motorcycles, right?
You are.
I'm losing
No,
my
you
hair
are.
over this shit.
No, but you are. Like, that's what motorcycle is. It's fucking stressful as fuck.
It's stressful. But
So-
what I'm trying to do is...
But you've done it, though. You're in Texas, and you've done it.
Yeah.
You didn't have... When I first went on your podcast, you were talking about moving to California. You didn't do it, and you've done it. So it is possible. There's going to be fucking challenges. There's going to be... But what's that saying? You fucking hustle hard until your competition is asking for a job?
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, buddy.
That's it. Like, it's not fucking easy, and it's not fucking
Agreed.
fair.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, it's something that, like, it's the privilege thing and all that.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it is who you know. Absolutely. It's 100% who you know. So go introduce yourself to some fucking people and keep fucking knocking on the door till they say, fuck, who the fuck is this guy? Let me answer it.
I'm very, what's the word? I'm like,
You're territorial.
no, I'm not. It's not that. It's like, I don't forget.
Forgive?
Forgive.
It's I guess like that, but I don't know. It's something like that. Like I'm one of those dudes that, like, whenever I want to achieve something, I need an opposition. Even if we're best friends, I'm like, I want to be better than John Jessup. Right?
You're competitive.
I make you the evil guy in my head,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
in real life. But I'm like, I'm gonna be better than you. You know what I mean? That's how I motivate myself to do things and kind of like progress and whatnot. But you know, like I have to watch myself because it's easy to get passionate talking about like this side and the inequality. Like I feel like a fucking righteous
Dude,
woke
yeah,
preacher right now.
I know this is turning into a blue state. You're starting to get there. Like,
That is awesome.
Because of y'all motherfuckers.
you're just looking for motorcycle reparations.
That's the best one all night.
That's awesome.
100%.
That's 100% awesome. Oh, shit.
Motorcycle
Shit.
reparations. Pay me, motherfucker. I'm rich, bitch.
That's a t-shirt for sure.
But
But for real, like
It is, yeah.
it's my job to hustle. You know, it would be my fucking wet dream to hustle so hard that my son Ryder or my daughter Gwen can just step in and be somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's fucking my goal. My goal is to give the people around me all the advantage in the world.
Yeah.
You know, and fuck, I didn't have it, so I just keep fucking pushing. But you didn't have it. You kept pushing.
Well, that's
You're
naturally,
still
I
here.
think naturally we both do that. Like I feel like in the way you said it was better than I can even re-say it. You know, being here, like I give a lot of things away, or
You contribute to
I
the
contribute to
motorcycle.
other, yeah, in a
You
sense.
contribute.
But I just some things have to be said, and sometimes I find that people that listen to me like the fact that I'll say it because there's a big misrepresented part of the country. You know what I mean? There's not
Dude,
bike
there's some
shows
fucking
anymore.
ugly places.
You know, one of the biggest differences between the motorcycle culture of the 2000s and now is that there used to be these traveling shows that went all over the country that exposed these Donnie Smiths and these fucking people all over the country that were badass, right?
Jeff Holt's trying to do it.
Yeah.
I know you whatever, but I'm just telling you,
He's trying.
there's one that he's trying. You know, like in the Easy Rider bike shows, it was fuck. I've been to
It's the
100
same
of them.
concept,
It
yeah.
was the same thing where you show up and the judges are, you know, there's 500 fucking badass bikes. He's got to choose 3, and maybe he knows those 3
Well, that's
guys,
what I'm
so
saying.
he's
So
gonna choose those.
That was like that's why we talk about like the times, man. That was the social media of the times were these shows and the magazines and
Yep,
the
yep,
shows. Now we have this instant connection across the country, and so it is smaller events. It is like the campouts and the V-Twin Visionary shows and the smaller shows at the big events. You know what I mean? Like the V-Twin Visionary at Daytona.
The stuff going in. Yeah.
So those are the things now that kind of bring people together. But it's a new world where we're having to refigure out how to gain exposure through actual interaction and not just social media, which is a new thing because it's easy to. You saw the fucking extent I go through to take a picture of a fucking helmet, right?
Yeah, no,
It's retarded.
People make fun of us for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, if that shit was outside in the public, I'd be influencers in the wild, dude. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the thing that we have to, or at least I feel like to get where I want to be with my work, I need to do it that way.
Well, no, so
You
that's
know?
the difference. You take yourself seriously and you're promoting yourself. That's our
Yeah.
job. Yeah, you're not just a painter. You're a marketer, you're a promoter. Same thing with me. I'm not just a fucking bike shop owner or a bike assembler or a parts guy or whatever.
Yeah.
No, if I want to take it to the next level, I got to put myself out there. You know, I would argue that we live in the most opportune time to be able to do that.
I don't disagree there.
You know, because before to get into a magazine was very
You
difficult.
had to probably blow a dude.
Maybe, you know, an advertise. I was gonna do a wheel deal with this company and come up with my own wheels, and they were gonna make them. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna advertise these things in Easy Rider. It was $10,000 a month,
Yeah.
bro. Like, you know what kind of fucking advertising budget that is on social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would smoke.
Yeah.
Easy Riders.
You be fucking
You know.
marketing to Mars, bro.
Yeah, right? No shit. So, like, we live in the most opportune time.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is there's so much out there. The way we separate ourselves.
You
the
have
way,
to go to that next level to separate yourself from.
yeah,
everything.
not only in your picture taking, but in what you do. So you don't make any money off a fucking camp out, but you get to go hang out with people and enjoy it. And it is the Fast Life Camp Out. So your brand gets exposure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't make money off all the a good percentage of the stuff I do, but I do it because I like it. And will it benefit me eventually? Yes, because more people know who I am and all that.
I would say in a sense, like the same
I'm
way
more relevant.
I would say the same way you probably benefit off the bike night is that it's kind of residual because of the fact that you throw it out. Like, when I do a camp out, people might come there and they find this is what I want to do. I want to fuck with Jace now because I like what he did here.
Yeah.
And then I make money through a helmet or a paint job. Or
whatever. But
you know.
it's But you're doing it. You didn't say, oh, I'm going to do a camp out because I'm going to get some customers.
Yeah.
No, you did a camp out because you're like, I want to drink beer with my friends around a campfire, and this is fucking cool. And next thing you know, I don't even know how many people show up, 80, 100, whatever it is, are all doing the same thing. And same thing with Bike Night, or when Nick Hinzo and I decided we're going to do the West Coast FXR Jam. I was like, Nick, if it's 10 people who show up, guess what? We're going to fucking have a killer fucking time.
That is what I tell. So many people reach out about doing bike nights, and they reach out about doing their own events. I'm like, look, you have to be content with the fact that you need to be content that if there is 10 people or 10,000, it's the same to you.
It is.
You got your 10 homies there, and that's all that matters. Anybody else shows up, that's fucking icing on the cake.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like with the FXR Jam, we were like, bro, like we're gonna have fucking a killer time no matter what, you know. And when I do bike nights, it's the same thing. It's a little more because I buy $300 worth of beer or some shit. So I'm like, fuck, I hope this beer gets
If
drunk.
my shop would have ended up being the way I wanted to do bike nights here, but then I got this fucking neighbor over here, this motherfucker, that after 10 o'clock he starts
Do
calling.
we need to do some Sons of Anarchy shit and like get in a van?
I want to beat his ass so bad. It's
I might know a guy.
It's ridiculous, man. So, but
not
I
me, I'm a puss.
wanted to do more shit here and do that, but like it was,
you can't,
we
you
invested
can't.
in this shop and it fucked. It didn't.
It is what it
it
is.
works here, but like after 10 p.m. I can't even start my bike out front.
Well,
That makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
My fucking shop.
No, my bike night.
Yeah.
So like, dude, like 5 to 8. You know, when the weather's a little bit worse, or 6 to 9. Like, I'm not interested in fucking hanging out until fucking the wee hours. Like,
See, that's my problem. Is that's where I like to fuck,
That's
man.
where he thrives.
yeah. So no, for me, it's like, I got a little kid.
You're
to
gonna
get
get the
home to and
Jace
shit.
that you hear on Drunk Podcast about 10:30. Yeah, we're talking shit, dude. Come on, we're going to talk shit. But no, about the Bagger Race.
The thing is, you give back to the motorcycle community, and giving back is something you enjoy.
Yeah.
And because of that, we're lucky enough to have followings and people who believe in what we do, because for some reason you and I have a voice.
Yeah.
And we're able to say, okay, I have a voice. Yes, I make my living off of doing this, but not only do I make my living, but I love it.
Yeah.
So because I love it, I'm going to do a bike night. I'm going to do you're going to do a camp out. We're going to do these events. And it's a snowball effect. The more you give, the more you get. That's how marriage works. That's how the motorcycle thing works. That's fucking how it works. The more you give, the more you get.
To kind of wrap up my position on the Bagger Racing League, is like, I want to be clear, like, I support it 100%. I really do. But I want to be supportive but critical at the same time. And I want to know that my criticism is to only make it better if it's applicable, right?
Yeah.
Maybe my criticism is just bullshit and it is what it is.
Or you and I have an idea of the way things work, and maybe it doesn't work like that.
It may exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
so
I've never tried to lease a fucking racetrack.
Yeah. If those dudes ever listen to this podcast, I don't want them to think that I hate them, because I don't. I respect what they're doing. I just, like I said before, I'm trying to bridge that gap between these loyal fucking people that have been pushing these T-bars on baggers. So like this track thing and what they're doing. I'm more stoked that like guys like
I'm gonna
Jiffy
change my
Tune.
Instagram to T-Bar Mohammed.
I'm glad that guys like Jiffy Tune and Tony Shreds are a big part of this
Dude,
movement.
they've been
because
doing
they're
it
the
a
ones
long
that
time.
Created this movement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So more than anything, like maybe me and my fucking big wheel bagger, performance bagger nerds, maybe we're not there, but I'm still stoked that those guys who actually deserve more than anybody to be there are there pushing the envelope for this for everybody else.
But same thing as your paint career, same thing as everything. In the beginning, nobody fucking cares. Like, you got to start on level 1. And yeah, sometimes we don't feel like we're on level 1, but to the powers that be, maybe we are.
Yeah.
And just fucking keep because your voice is important.
Yeah.
And don't get so frustrated that like, fuck, man, fuck these guys. They're not listening to me right off the gate. No, keep fucking knocking on the door, because it'll get opened. And that's my opinion. Like, people want to hear, because they want it to be successful. and like you're not coming from a place of like, oh, fuck you guys, whatever. You're like, no, I want this to be a success.
Yeah.
I want it to be a success because I want to fucking so many reasons. I just want to rip on my bike. I'm going to bring an FXR, a Softail, and a Bagger. Like, we're going to fucking, Tom's going to bring a bike, and Jim, we're going to show up and try and have fucking fun as long as we can get the license in time.
What's very interesting is what makes it more interesting to me is that it's gonna reshape the surface of the custom motorcycle industry for the next 10 years.
Easy.
Because when's the last time drag put this much effort into a genre of motorcycles?
No, so here's the exciting part for me. In the past, so drag is a big fucking, you look at it like a battleship. That thing doesn't fucking turn very easy. You know what I mean? So it would always seem like the big wheel kit come out and drag right as soon as the that's not cool anymore, and or the wide tire kit, and then the big wheel bagger thing, same thing. It was kind of done before they got in there. This they're getting in the beginning. They're putting resource. Well, not the beginning, but
they already had the shit to do it.
Well, yeah, they already had.
I mean?
It's not.
They didn't have to. There's no special treatment to these bikes other than like realistically everything
already in there.
was already in drag. Other than now they made it more accessible,
and they're going to promote it.
About my point again, to make T-bars work on fucking baggers.
Yeah,
that's the only thing they had to add to the catalog. Wonder why it's different than every other performance bagger ever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to hammer my fucking point down.
So, but the drag specialties, like they're pushing it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually something that makes sense.
Well, it's just the race is not only going to bring. I mean, the race will bring not just a few racers, stunt riders, and some publicity. It will sell a shit ton of parts for drag and all.
Why do you think they're doing it?
I know that's exactly why they're. Oh, I know that's exactly why they're doing it. That's why Parts Unlimited sponsors every single AMA 1000 races.
The one thing you can say about drag, okay, hate them, love them, whatever, is they invest back into the sport.
Yeah, agree.
They do.
That's fair.
100% they do. They don't have to spend that money. They're on top. If drag never fucking sponsored another race, the fact that they have parts in every warehouse that I can order and get on time, I'm buying parts from them.
Well, it's smart for them to do that because
it is.
If you don't invest back in your industry, the industry can go away.
You're right. So it's in their best interest, our best interest, to keep people enthusiastic about motorcycles. Because if we take a guy who doesn't even ride motorcycles and you get him on a bike, and his friends see him riding bikes, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Some of them are also going to get bikes, and it keeps going.
Like I said, it's in our best interest to support drag, but it's also in our best interest to be critical of them as well.
No, I'm not saying...
It's almost like drag is the government, and we have to trust them because they're going to help steer
No,
us.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that we should fucking just be like, oh, whatever they do goes or whatever. But what I'm getting at I think it's our natural inclination to hate the big guy. Okay? I know it's mine. I
can see how that's a deal, but like I said, it's not.
And it's our natural inclination to look at it as like, oh, me and my buddy's been doing this forever, and then now all this big money's coming
sound like
into
you're
it.
on Facebook.
Yeah, right? But that's natural. I think
that's what it feels like.
No, it's natural for us to feel that way. But I think it takes a little bit of maturity and a little bit of actually thinking about it realistically is like, hey,
I guess
look.
I only took it harder because in 2018, when we started this podcast in January, I had just finished my first performance bagger, like literally like 2 or 3 weeks after our first deal. And I remember going to everybody's shop, and it's an oxymoron, and the fucking cans and
Harleys are an oxymoron.
They are the whole
everything about it. We're riding antiquated motorcycles, but we fucking love them.
In a sense, like that perpetuated this angst that I have for this because like everybody fucking wrote it off. So then it became a competition because of the way I'm natured. Well, I love this. And I think if other people find it, they're going to love it as much as I do. So that's what's drove this for the last 3.5 years for me, or 3 years, sorry. And then meeting some of my best friends in my life now who ride these bikes across country. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I get it.
It's a weird investment that I have that not first, but along the lines of it before it was popular. And no matter how you say it, man, no matter how, at the end of the day, no matter how you say it, it sounds like high school bitching, I fucked her first kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's all it feels like.
Well,
it's stupid.
Because it is.
It is.
Like, but that's okay. That's natural. We all feel like that sometimes.
It's almost like the same feeling. This is a stretch, but maybe the same feeling as if you created something, or no, I can't even say that. It's not the same.
All right, whatever.
Scratch that out. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say it because it's not the
All
same.
right.
I thought it was, and then I was like, no, it's not. You'll never know.
But no, I mean, I think anytime you come up with an idea, but the reality of the situation is life isn't fair, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have the resources that Drag has. Had Jace had the resources that Drag has, Jace would be calling all the fucking shots.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not rich ass motherfuckers. It's just how it's not. That's how it is. But so what?
That's where you do your part and just get involved with the race and do what you can. Like you sign that contract saying you want to get involved with the race. You're trying to do your part to keep it growing, keep that passion building, and keep that momentum.
No, and for two different reasons. One is that I love motorcycles and I fucking want to do it. And the other is I love the motorcycle business and I want to stay in it.
The good thing is like you have a much more ingrained relationship with Drag. Like you sell a lot of their products. You've been selling their products for years. I have no relationship with Drag because I stay out of that type of stuff because of my podcast, in a sense. Not saying I'm never going to get into it.
No, but
I try not to get into it because I have a lot of things.
Yeah, I get it.
Your voice, like that's why I talk to you, Elias. Like maybe I can illuminate some of these things, and you have an easier chance of getting in there and having a conversation with the powers that be than I would, who has no financial investment towards Drag.
No, I get it, but like you said, I have people's cell phone numbers. I can call them.
Yeah,
you don't yet, but keep fucking knocking on the door, and you will.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, don't get discouraged. Don't be like, fuck, because
does Drag need brand ambassadors? Because I'll brand ambassador the fuck out of that brand.
Probably
Corey Hart. That's why he's on the cover of this last drag bike.
Ooh.
Or
he's not on the cover.
Corey Hart is. I thought he was. No,
Corey Hart.
Carrie
Who
Hart.
the fuck is that?
Carrie Hart.
Carrie Hart's Indian was on the front.
Arlen Ness and Carrie Hart had a baby, and it's Corey Hart. I didn't know. I thought that the last drag bike was the
is a Ness Softail.
Is a Ness Softail. Yeah, it's not Corey Hart's. Corey
Carrie
Hart's bike.
It's not Pink's husband.
No, it's not Pink's husband. Which, by the way, that bike is fucking not his bike, but that bike base is what the fuck's going on, man? Did the Aztec guy start designing Indians?
All right,
Pontiac Aztec.
Here's the deal.
Yeah,
this is the Indian versus Harley argument. Right now, I'm going to sum it up for you. Boom, you ready? I'm dropping a fucking bombshell. All right. Harley is the only fucking brand that we can buy a 30-year-old bike and still fucking put brand new parts off a brand new bike on that 30-year-old bike. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's why it's fucking cool. Indian, now if you're just looking to buy a bike
30 years ago, they weren't around.
Exactly. But you're just looking to buy a bike and get on it and ride like a fucking Honda Civic or a Goldwing or whatever. You're not going to really do anything to it. Maybe a couple little things. Yeah. Fucking buy it. It's probably a good running bike. I know my wife has an Indian Scout. Man, that Scout took her from a fucking beginner level rider. She's riding the Dragon
Definitely
on a Scout.
That bike more until she gets on the lowrider that you bought her.
Well, yeah, that's a good handling bike, but it doesn't have the aftermarket support. It doesn't have the decades of heritage.
Yeah.
So you're comparing apples and oranges. The Harley versus Indian thing is stupid.
This is the thing that sucks is that, like, to talk a little shit right now, Indian, the first motorcycle, American-made motorcycle, but not the most conjunction throughout time.
Okay.
It's been like
That's marketing, dude.
it's like, hey, bro, I started Fast Life Garage, but then we also failed 8 times, and then we weren't around for 20 years, and then we popped back up like, hey, we've been here since 01.
Yeah.
Not the same, but I will say, to give credit where it's due, I think that the Barnstorm Challenger, and I think that what Insta Heaven Kyle's doing with his Challenger, they're going to be badass bikes. Oh, yeah. Now,
no doubt.
There's things about these bikes that I don't personally like that I think that
All right.
whether
you agree with style or whatever or anything, that doesn't matter. Here's what's going to kill it. All right. So what Harley has done that we all love, maybe to their own, maybe against their own self-interest. So they come out with a platform and they keep the platform for a long time, and a lot of the parts interchange, and a lot of the parts
aftermarket can design a part and it's going to last a while.
Exactly. But not only that, but you can keep a bike on the road for a long time. Fuck, we both have 83 FXRs in the truck.
All y'all do.
I have an 83 too.
Yeah. I've got most of my bikes are from the 80s, and they perform and ride every well as good as a brand new bike.
Yeah.
But where the Japanese manufacturers change platforms every 3 years or some shit, buy a 5-year-old sport bike,
So this is
we'll see if Indian does the same thing. In 20 years, is a 2020 Challenger part going to work on a 2030 Challenger part? Probably not, because they want their motorcycles to be disposable. That's where a manufacturer wants. They want to sell new bikes.
Yeah.
They want to sell new cars. They want it to be disposable. That's why sport bikes aren't like, and they're always getting better, quote unquote. Well, okay, I get it, but that's why nobody gives a fuck about a 2005 GSXR.
Exactly. Well, that was my favorite year, but here's the deal.
That's what I said.
04, actually.
No, that's
05,
why nobody gives a fuck about them.
This is what happened, and I've said this before in the podcast. When I used to do nothing but sport bikes, and what happened is Suzuki at the time was a very predominant sport bike manufacturer for custom, not racing.
Yep.
Even though they were some of the fastest 1000s out there. A 99 Hayabusa and a 99 Gixxer 600, or I think it was 2000 Gixxer 600, 750, and 1000. Those parts interchanged all the way up to 07. I think 07 is when they started changing suspension. So you used to be able to take a swing arm off this bike, put it on that bike, a motor out of a 1000 and put it in a 600. The tanks, there's so many things.
Yeah, they're a little bit more like Harley.
And if you made a product for one of those bikes, it went on all the bikes. So you made lowering links, or you made this, a swing arm. It was universal for 4 different platforms, right?
Yep.
And then in 07, they went to this new suspension. So all the swing arm manufacturers, like the big tire sport bike thing was growing so fast and everybody loved it. And then the swing arms on every bike was different, and these manufacturers couldn't justify having one swing arm per model.
And then hoping they didn't change the model in 2 years.
And that's what Suzuki was known for. That they would do a complete redesign of the bike every 2 years, except for the Hayabusa.
So we'll see if Indian,
if they follow that kind of suit.
So we'll see what happens, because I could see if I owned a motorcycle company, I want people to buy new motorcycles. Well,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Are people buying new motorcycles if they can keep their old ones going indefinitely? But yet, how do you build a loyal I have a Harley tattoo. Right? How fucking lame is that?
Not as lame as a famous Stars and Straps tattoo.
You're right. But
I have one on my neck.
I believed in that brand enough that I identified with that brand.
I agree.
Because of the heritage and being able to, those guys riding fucking 70s shovel heads and all that stuff. Well, those bikes can still be ridden. And there's many people who have parts for them, and you can rebuild them. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
I agree. That's
there's usually a bike shop in not every town, but a lot of towns that can help you with it. Yeah, whereas the Japanese doesn't have that. Yeah. We'll see if Indian gains it, but
Well, if Indian
depends.
stays the course right now over the course of the next 50 years, they could build that. But it's the constant investment into the brand that's going to make the difference. The same thing, like I would argue with like Harley's involvement with Pan America. It's like you can't do this for 2 years and lose interest because you didn't gain all the money back real quick. This is a long-term investment. You have to build a fucking network worldwide for adventure riding bikes. If you want to compete with KTM and BMW and Honda, you have to build a worldwide network for people to be able to ride these bikes across the world, not just to your fucking T-shirt shop in Brazil. You got to sell fucking things there to help keep these bikes on the road. That's my one thing that I think that they failed to do if they're trying to compete with the BMW,
We'll see.
KTM, and things like that.
That's above my pay grade. I know
Well, here's
nothing
the deal.
about adventure bikes.
I'm fucking smart, bro.
Yeah, you know, but
I watch a lot of the long way round down.
I
across.
love that long way. Yeah, but
Awesome shit.
love it. But I can tell you this: every time I've tried a new venture in business, I have to lose a shit ton of money before I have to make it. Before I figure out how to make
when
it.
I left Big Wheel Baggers and started fucking with Dyna dudes.
Yeah, like
I lost a lot of money, but now it's crazy how that works. You have to invest in things. In investments, no matter how good you are, no matter how great I'm as a painter, I have to invest in this new style of bike that is kind of spending less money than the Big Wheel Bagger dudes were, but on a smaller tank, smaller projects. I lost money originally, but I ended up gaining it back in the long run. It's an investment into a new
it's
thing.
an investment. You're right,
You know?
but Harley has a history of having a short attention span.
Yeah, that's a
You
good way
know,
to put it.
and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, I hope it takes off.
I do too.
I
wish
like it.
could-
I kind of want one. But then again, I know nothing about adventure bikes. I don't even know how it stacks up. You know, it could be the coolest shit ever, or it could be lame.
I feel
don't
like
even
everybody
know.
like posting that picture on the Instagram right now. Like, I'm signed up for the new Indian Pan American. That's like how y'all looked when y'all were signing the fucking Bagger Race Leauge contracts. Like with y'all.
It reminds me of the Tesla truck.
Yeah, that's right. This is weird, dude. It's fucking awesome marketing because it does like really work. You know what I mean? It shows people like what's going on and it draws involvement towards like the Bagger Racing League. Like whenever you sign the contract,
I wonder if I could hire Jason Momoa to ride my bagger.
man, if you
I
did,
know
dude,
my wife would like him better.
make everybody's underwear tight.
Now, here's a question for you. So, John, with the Bagger Racing League, so let's say you signed the contract, right? You bought a 2020 Road Glide, so you're committed to it. You got the Softail, the FXR you already have, and now the Road Glide. So what if you don't get your license? Are you
Then
just
I'll
gonna,
do the next race.
So you won't even go to the Utah race at all?
Well, I might show up
show up.
as like an exhibitor, but I'm going to play by the rules. Like,
Well, no,
I'm not going to ask them to make a special
That's not
exception
fair.
because
You're
I'm.
not a biker.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
saying. No, I'm not. saying-
I'm my name.
No,
I'm
I'm
John motherfucking Jessup. Bend him. No, I'm not going to do that shit.
I don't need no reparations.
No, I'm saying like I know you don't want to like go out like buy a Ben Benstrom or however
Yeah,
that's his name from India.
Ben Bostrom.
Bostrom, yeah. But have you thought about a backup plan? Like, okay, well, they're not really like go back to Jason's point of like they're not really giving too much love to like over this side, the East Coast of like those stunt riders and or riders, some of that. Maybe there is a licensed guy like a Black Charlotte that maybe he is licensed. I have no idea if he is, but let's say there's a guy that's out there that's on this side of the Rockies or close to Tennessee that is a licensed rider that you could put on your bike for that one race. Say, hey, this is
At least
Dream
you
Ride
You know what?
eat.
You can at least
not,
be.
I'm not going to say it can't happen.
Yeah.
It goes against.
Yeah.
I'm not
My-
saying. I'm just saying if you run out of time though.
No,
I'm
but
just saying,
I'm with you. I'm with you, and I have thought about that. And maybe I backed myself into a corner here with the cuckold thing, but
Oh, shit.
like, you know, that's something where I'm like, all right, what's the worst evil? Do I just sit on the sidelines and like twiddle my thumbs and say, oh, fucking poor us, like I couldn't get it done?
Yeah.
well, that's
You
what I'm
know?
saying. Like,
or do I put somebody on it? I'd probably put somebody on it, but then again, like I'd rather give an opportunity to somebody who maybe is an unknown.
right? That,
You know, that maybe somebody who's like, you know, because I'm not paying money for somebody to go race my bike.
Yeah, for sure.
Not going to happen. Now, if I can give if I can't take the opportunity myself, but I can give an opportunity to somebody, I might do that.
Yeah.
But for me, part of the marketing, because this is my business.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'd be able to justify doing it even if it wasn't my business, but I don't know that I could.
Yeah.
But this is my business. So part of this is I want to show the other guys out there that, hey, look, I'm 250 fucking pounds. I have no race experience. I'm going to get out there and fucking do it.
And you can get last place too.
Yeah. Wait, if I can beat somebody, fucking A, that's awesome. Maybe, but hey, if I can talk enough guys into going, maybe I won't be last place.
Dude, I want to go. It's not to bitch again, but it sucks because that first race in Utah is like literally after we come home from our big trip that we're doing to New York and Laconia and all that. So it's like it's really our scene is the bubble's getting so much bigger for we all fuck with each other. Like the Born Free is like the same.
We can't
weekend,
do it all.
Yeah, it's like
we can't do
like,
everything. Like that's the fucked up part about this. Like,
and then it's like okay for you in Tennessee to do that,
dude,
and
that's
then
a
go
track.
back home and then come to Sturgis a month later.
It's a rough fucking life, Jace.
Yeah,
it's a rough fucking life. We got to do.
And you're not even getting. I mean, you're spending money on both of those trips to market and to promote.
So Sturgis is just me going and having fun.
True.
I'm just like
Sturgis is the biggest like networking and meeting ground. It's
it's a business expense, but I'm not trying to make money or anything.
Exactly.
Going to Utah is just to go have fun. Yes, I'm gonna be doing some videos on shock installs and all the shit that like is just creating content.
Are you hearing from like guys like Jesse at Legends and these other companies that are looking to step up to more of the race level things?
Absolutely.
Is that?
Yeah.
I need to talk with Jesse and those guys.
You should.
I'd love to have them on. They just have to come down here.
Yeah.
Because I can't make it to Sturgis unless we're in Sturgis and they're too busy and I'm too busy up there. It's just a mess.
Well,
but no, like I think that with this taking place, like it's gonna.
I think the whole industry has taken notice.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, the whole industry has taken notice. I think that the vast majority of these guys are motorcycle guys. First and foremost, they're motorcycle guys. And yes, there are trends in motorcycles. Jesse used to do fucking air rides and slam soft tails. That's where Legend fucking came around.
Yeah.
He probably sells a hell of a lot more performance-based suspensions now than he does air rides.
He's one of the he did some of the best marketing I've ever seen from a brand. Yeah. Putting it on the right people and I mean, they did a good job.
But it's not because
and they're a presence every Sturgis with those riders.
But
that's a good thing too.
But it's not because he doesn't ride bikes and it's not just because he's like looking at a spreadsheet trying to figure out what can we exploit next, blah, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
No, it's I have a fucking company that I need to keep in business. I have employees that depend on me, so I better make parts for what's in demand.
Yeah.
That's all there is
really
to
important,
it.
Yeah.
So the whole industry has taken notice. As you well know, the biggest player in the fucking game, Drag, has taken notice. Speed Merchant, all the OG performance guys. I mean, Speed Merchant's been making some badass shit for a long time. Alloy Art. I mean, all these guys, and they're not big companies. Yeah, they make parts, but we're talking small operations. Like,
so what I'm looking forward to is, on the 10th when I leave to go back to California to do podcasts, I'm talking to a lot of these companies, and what's going to be awesome for the listeners and just myself is to kind of get, a lot of these people I haven't had on the podcast before. So a lot of background, but also like their involvement in what it's doing for them for this new movement, how it's become a nationwide force and not just like a California-based identity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm excited, man. I think that, this year is going to be great for performance motorcycles in general. I mean, the whole Bagger Racing League, I mean, it says Bagger Racing League, but it's a lot of different
everything.
bikes.
You got a Sportster and a license, show up. You got a soft tile Dyna FXR. There's that one. There's an announcement coming out.
We don't need a lot of Dynas on that.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Well,
Careful.
Shit.
Putting margaritas on their backs. On the road.
Anyways, but they're going to include anybody who's willing to go through the
Except
qualifications.
for bagger riders. All right, so I'm just fucking with you.
Except for what?
People riding baggers.
Well, we won't talk about that.
We won't talk about that, but we got some good
But
news
stay
coming.
tuned for Daytona.
All right, cool. Well, John, it's been a minute, and it's been a couple hours, so we need to say our goodbyes.
Right on. Well, if
And I'm not drunk, which I'm fucking proud of.
yeah,
I kept it to 4 beers this entire
I
time.
put $5 on it in the comments, so I guess I lost $5.
To everybody?
Luckily, nobody said anything. So
Yeah, you just-
fuck
anyway,
y'all.
but hey, tell everybody where. So the new spot is.
So
in-
here we didn't even really talk about Tennessee much, but
I think we did.
maybe I don't know, but
It was
so-
it's yesterday.
so we got our Stockton shop in Northern California. We got a full crew. We're doing all the same shit we've always done. Tom, Taylor, Annie, Wyatt, Jimmy, they're all in there kicking ass. We're about to open a new spot in Tennessee, Merville, Tennessee, with Jesse Taylor, Dusty Hambrick, Paul Driscoll, myself. I'm looking for a service rider. If you're a Harley trained service rider and you want to fucking step up to the plate and come to work for one of the baddest shops in the country, hit me up.
Damn.
Come on
out
you.
there.
Come on.
You know, and you don't need to make any money. Anyways, but we got that. I'm online, teamdreamrides.com. We sell parts. I'm here to get you whatever you need. We offer financing. Other than that, I like to ride motorcycles and have fun.
Hell yeah. Well, Aaron, thank you for coming on as well.
I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, there's a great podcast with Aaron on the Patreon if you guys haven't heard it yet.
I don't know how to do that. Like, I've been a Patreon guy forever, but you have to make an account. Hey,
You don't
explain
know.
to us how to listen to Patreon, because I don't know.
Well, they have an app.
They have an app.
They have an
Okay.
app.
Again, it's one of those app things you got to download. No smoke signals, actual
What
app.
the
you
fuck
gotta
is an
download.
app?
So you download it on your phone, and they have there's live. I mean, we're able to do live video podcasts on there, a lot of things, and that whole platform is growing, and they're adding more tools to it that we can do
Okay.
more things. Like, I'm still waiting for the chat aspect to come in to where we can have more interaction with people on there. But right now, every podcast that we've been trying to do at least one, sometimes 2 a month that are just for Patreon. And honestly, man, like the one that you did and the one that we did with Mark and Steve at the beginning of the year, they were fucking fire ass podcasts. It's where it's like, one day if I don't have anything to release, you know what I mean? But the goal is to keep them there just so that people can get something exclusive.
So,
and
yeah,
extra.
because I donated, I think, back in 2018 or something.
Yeah,
I
a
just
lot
left
of
it
people-
going, and, I just
a lot
forgot
of people
about
have it. I mean, it's one of those things that that Patreon is built the studio in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's continuing to grow it. So we still need to get 2 more cameras, 1 more for sure, but maybe 2 more to kind of add more angles and create more of an atmosphere here. But
Can you get skinny cameras so next time I'm on here, it looks a little better?
yeah, get the right lenses on it. But I mean, it's one of those things that like anything. I've invested a lot of money, not just Patreon and sponsors and stuff, but
Yeah.
I've put a lot of money into this thing, and I wish it was as easy as putting money into my ability to be a better podcast host. But it's one of those things that time is the one that'll kind of make that work better and shit like that. But dude, it's just the Patreon is like one of those things, man. It's like
All right.
what I try to tell people is this is the only point I'll make is like for $1 a month, you can support this podcast and what we do, get exclusive content. And at the end of the year, you spent $12, bro. $12 fucking dollars. Am I not worth that? Is this content not worth that? Is the motorcycle industry and the place
Here,
to
I
talk?
have a suggestion.
What?
You need to do an NPR fund drive. Get some tote bags.
Well, a lot of people would say like do the giveaways on the thing, and I thought about doing that. My buddy Danger Dan does a lot of giveaways on his Patreon, but it's so there's so much work to just do giveaways. Like, John, hey, you haven't answered your phone. You're a sponsor. I need you to give me something to give to these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh well, I don't have anything. All right, Boosted Brad, do you have anything you can give to me so I can give to these? Like, it's so much more work, but I want people to understand that if they choose to do Patreon, they're supporting this podcast.
No, absolutely.
And not doing it for a fucking raffle or some kind of free thing. What they're doing is supporting something because they enjoy it. If you don't enjoy this podcast, please don't fucking support me. But if you do, please fucking support me.
Yes.
Yeah, the
That's
nice
how it
thing about
works.
the Patreon is doing I like the extra content you get as a Patreon supporter. Like I've been I don't know, a Patreon supporter for I don't know how many years, but but being able to listen to some of the conversations that happen offline that no one else gets to, I feel like, I get to listen to that conversation. No one else did.
And sometimes they're just us fucked up.
Hammered.
After we got too drunk on a podcast, we kept going.
Carly, Vegas, your brother.
Yeah, that was a wild one. But, like I said, it's just one of those things. Like, that's, sponsors yourself. You've been a big supporter of this podcast for quite a few years now. And without money, things don't exist. It's that's how shit works, man. Like, if this podcast doesn't make money, I can't fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. No, absolutely. But people need to hear that.
Yeah.
I appreciate being on the podcast again, though. I do appreciate it, Jace.
It's going to cost you.
It already does.
More. I'm just playing. No, I appreciate it. Like, I try to bring all my friends on. I think that the key to making a great podcast is to bring your friends on, because your friends are going to roast you harder than guests are. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Your friends are going to make you more humble and more of who you actually are than just being a face in front of everybody else all the time. You know what I mean? So without my friends, I wouldn't I wouldn't be that cool.
Yeah.
I'd be kind of cool. Not as cool as I would be if
I get it. I get it.
So, all right, cool.
Cool.
Good.
Right on.
Yep.
All right.
I think that was a good one.
John, guess what? I learned how